How about Jeff Hensley on top of the pit box calling the shots too?
A lot of good things for him right now. And he's got that hat. Did y'all see that earlier?
He's got a hat. He's a referee in the spare time.
Whoa! Problems right there. Ricky Carmichael got bumped. It slid him up the racetrack. He hits Brian Scott.
Just lock it down. Lock it down. Lock it down.
You heard Andy Houston saying, "Lock it down."
Whew.
When he said lock it down, that means lock the brakes up. Don't let that thing keep rolling any farther than it needed to.
And I think he was afraid when Ricky got over in that.
Tell him to be very, very careful. Watch this now. That's Mike Bliss.
Wow.
And just as soon as he got to that rear bumper, it lifted the back end off the ground and turned him up into Brian Scott, it looked like.
And again, spectacular pictures by our cameraman. That was a great shot to be able to see
now,
that.
How do you get spun sideways right in the middle of the back straightaway in front of a pack and nobody hit you?
And a nice job by Brian.
Oh, Brian Scott got into the wall.
He did get into the wall a little bit harder. It looked like on replay than I thought originally.
Yeah, that right rear hit the wall pretty hard. We saw some black marks on the wall after he went by.
You notice the roof flap not going up on that truck, even though it's backwards. The cowl flaps, you can see them coming up, but the roof flap did not come up. NASCAR will look at that.
Yeah, that'll.
Oh, this is a great shot here from turn 3, looking back, and watch this now. Watch that truck on the inside. He's going to get some help. Turned right into Brian Scott, and Brian had absolutely nowhere to go.
That might be a backup truck for Brian Scott, Phil.
It may be.
He
sure
hit
may be.
There's no safer barrier there, so that contact was right into the concrete.
Take another look. Again, the 40 is going to come right up behind and underneath that 4.
Yeah, look how low that bumper is. It just didn't quite match up. If that 40 truck would have been about 2 inches higher in the front end, then the bumper would have matched up better. But, you know, that's what Wayne Auten, our series director, will caution these drivers to Friday night in the drivers meeting. Be careful of the bump drafting. That bumpers really don't line up, and that's a perfect illustration.
Brian Scott's minding his own business and gets pushed right into the outside wall. This is a good way for folks to see they need to really be careful with this bump drafting. You can cause a big mess.
The other major story in this practice session was Kyle Busch apparently breaking a fitting off the valve cover in his 51.
I'm seriously considering dropping to the back early on in this race to find out what we've got. He said, I know, I've watched these races, I know how many times there's a big one. He said, I want to finish this race, and now he did it. He's spinning out on the racetrack.
Brian Scott right in the middle of a 3-wide situation. He gets it pointed the right direction. The caution comes out, and you see that 40. That's Mike Bliss. A new sponsor coming on board just for this race.
Those guys just weren't organized going through that first and second turn. They all were wandering around, darting and dicing, and wound up making contact.
Damage here, Gary.
The middle, and there was just no more real estate left.
There he is right here. You see TJ is trying to go around the outside of Shane Sieg, has to back off, and then Brett Raymer, this 85 truck, actually moved up a little bit, and then really Brian had nowhere to go because TJ Bell was coming down.
And look, Brian spins out right in the middle of the pack and just drives off. The guy that really got the most damage in that crash was Bliss.
There's another view right here. Watch the 11 go to the outside.
And watch the 85. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. 85 hits a bump, moves up. Scott has to move up. Boom.
And TJ was coming down at the same time.
Now the field has been picked up by the pace truck, and this is going to be our first sight of what's going to take place with the pit stops, the new rule change. We're going to take another look here at why Brian Scott's turned around.
Great job by TJ Bell. He got hit in the left rear quarter panel hard, but he was able to maintain control of his truck.
Yeah, that 32 truck of Chase.
The 7 of J.R. Fitzpatrick, he decided to pit.
No, he didn't. He did. You're right. Good call, Rick. But watch why he decided to pit.
Had a little help.
Maybe he decided to pit, but he was hurried up in the process.
He got pointed in that direction.
6 trucks in a pack. The speeds pick up.
And by the way, that's over 189 mile-an-hour average. Watch out, Johnny Benson.
Wow, very close again. Johnny Benson right in the middle. He's got Kyle Busch on his inside. He's got Johnny Sauter on his outside, and they continue 3-1.
Oh, we got a crash in the tri-oval. James Busher got turned. Big crash.
Oh, and now coming up behind him, we've got quite a few more trucks that are moving into the smoke and can't see where they're going.
Johnny
Benson, one of those trucks.
Ricky Carmichael got hit. That was just a situation where Busher had gotten touched in the left rear quarter panel. I was watching this develop.
Yeah. That's Johnny Benson saying, sorry, fellas, we're done.
James Busher was running second when they crossed the start-finish line to Ron Hornaday.
And I think he and hold to Busher. Todd Bodine, I think.
Yeah, James is on the outside of a 33 of Hornaday. And
Yeah,
looks like Todd drifts up the hill, gets into him a little bit, turns him sideways.
James was perfect. He was up beside Hornaday racing for the lead, and Todd just, and you know, we talked about how difficult it is to race a truck through the trial oval. Todd couldn't get his truck turned, and he got into the left rear of Buescher.
They call it a straightaway, but it's really not. It's an 18-degree banked turn.
There goes Johnny.
Johnny was trying to make his way back to the pits, and then obviously had an oil line or something ruptured, and that caught fire for a moment. He just turned her down on the grass. Here's another view here. Why, there's a contact right there. Watch this now.
What if you're James Buescher, 18 years old, racing for the lead at Daytona, and get taken out by a veteran? That's got to make you scratch your head. He's the one that's supposed to make the mistake. But that just goes to show again how difficult it is to get through this trial.
30s with you on your bumper. 30s with you.
We're talking about 3 feet. Todd drifted up about 3 feet, and that's when he made the contact with James Buescher. James was trying to side draft off of Ron Hornaday.
4 on your bumper. Be smart here.
Oh man, Ricky Carmichael.
Behind you here, big time.
Just barely.
And Todd just drives away.
Take a look at Johnny's on board.
Kyle Busch on the inside, the Miccosukee Toyota.
Middle. Spin in front of you. Ease it back. Go, go, go. Keep going.
Ooh, didn't quite make it. Took the back end off of Ricky Carmichael's
Did you
truck.
see that truck of Kyle Busch? He just worked his way right through that baby. Not a scratch on it. Down on the inside.
You heard Johnny Benson's spotter say, big wreck in front of you, ease it up, and then go, 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 knowing that he had guys behind him that were probably going to run into him.
Yeah, tried to get by that incident, just unfortunately made contact with Ricky Carmichael.
The different trucks that were involved, you see the list right. All ended toward the front of the field. He gets sideways, turned around, and the melee happens behind him.
Intent just to ride single file. There's been 2 or 3 of them that have tried to move up top and get a group together that go, oh, wow.
A big hit there for the 85. That was Brent Raymer sliding into the wall.
Throttle's hung wide open too. He's going to hit it again.
Right back in front of the few trucks. Like you mentioned, that throttle being hung took him right back into the wall.
And that's no safer barrier there. That's concrete.
Yeah, Brent was doing a great job running up in the lead draft.
What happened? It just get loose.
Right there. That's Brent Raymer. Keep an eye on him at the very back of that pack. Keep going. Watch that truck come off the corner. This is the previous lap. See, it gets sideways, Mikey.
Oh,
he does a nice job saving it.
And it looks like the crash is just a replay of that.
Yeah.
Only a little bit worse.
Now let's see what happens now. Look, he's going to be right of your screen. Ooh, hard contact, and there wasn't another truck anywhere near him. It looks like something may have broken on his truck or something to sit in the wall like that. Or maybe did he get loose and maybe overcorrected?
Yeah, it looked like if what happened the lap before happened again, he might not have been as fortunate with his save. Now watch this thing pound the wall one more time.
Again, as you mentioned, no safer barriers, but the good news is,
watch this now, Mikey. Watch this. You see, he got loose right on the bottom and then overcorrected, shot right across the racetrack into the outside wall.
I mentioned good news. Brent Raymer is climbing out of that truck.
See him right there going straight back into the outside wall. Already stunned from that first impact. Pulls up beside it. Colin Brown. He's going to bring Skinner Hornaday with him.
That outside line is moving now. Todd Bodine in front of him. Now let's see what Kyle Busch does.
I think Kyle Busch said, I think this is a place.
Oh, problems behind him though. The 23, the 24, David Starr involved. The 23 of Jason White.
The 14 of Rick Crawford also involved.
That truck's hit hard, right in the nose.
Or it sure has.
Caution of the night. There's the 24 of David Starr.
See Rick Crawford on the inside. David Starr goes around the outside, the 24 truck. Ooh, Jason White gets sideways, runs into the 14 of Rick Crawford, puts him in the outside wall. David Starr had nowhere to go.
You know, it looked like he just got loose. Jason White just started to turn just a bit.
It may have been a tire or something go down. We're hearing reports that there was a noise that they heard on the backstretch. Watch Jason now, right up your screen. See the smoke already before. I think the right rear tire went, Michael.
I think he blew out a tire. What a great run for Jason White, too. He'd been in that lead pack, qualified up in the A spot. He had his gunbroker.com truck in the lead pack all night long. You know, a great run, and just unfortunate.
Take another listen.
Wow. Tough hit there for Jason White.
Tough break for Jason White.
Such a good run going, as we were talking about.
With just a lap to go, looking to make it 4 straight wins at the super speedways.
And
Where's Kyle going to try to make his move, Michael?
He'll probably do it down in turn 3. He's got just what he wanted. He wanted to be running second when he took the white, and he's positioned right on top of Todd's bumper. He's going to count on Terry Cook to go with him when he makes the move to the outside of Todd on the back straightaway.
Will Terry make it 3 wide, though, and go for the win himself? Here comes somebody on the outside
That's
again.
Fitzpatrick out there in the 7. Looks like he's going to try to fall back in line, though, just in front of Taylor Molson.
Hornaday's peeking to the outside. He tucks back in.
Who's going to make the move right now? 51 of Kyle Busch all over the back bumper. He moves to the outside. Looks like he gets loose. Drops back just a bit. Now as they work their way coming out of turn number 4. A huge lead for Todd Bodine.
It isn't enough.
Catch him.
It isn't enough, is it?
Todd Bodine is going to be able to hold off the pack. He'll win again at Daytona.
Woo!
Wow, what a job by Todd Bodine. We said
Brian Scott is battling Mike Skinner in the 5.
Brian Scott had really moved up through the field.
And this is that situation right here where this could definitely have been avoided. A little give right there would have made that not happen.
Especially this early in the race.
Yeah.
First caution of the day in California. Issue on pit road. Watch right in that area as the red truck comes in. Taylor Malsom and Chase Austin collide.
Well, I know we're early into this this pitting procedure, but that was one of the concerns I've had all
Sweep the weekend here at all 3 series.
White flag for Rowdy Busch. 56th start in the Camping World Truck Series, seeking to win California for the 2nd year in a row.
A lot of guys are going to want to see those right side tires, I can tell you that.
And I'd say a lot of guys from the other series because it's the same tire. But
exactly.
Just think about it, Mike. 9 years ago, they told him you can't race. You're not old enough. Right here at Auto Club Speedway.
Driving for Billy Ballou.
And that's a real special relationship, too.
Yep.
Good job, Doug.
Doug George, the crew chief, Billy Ballou, the owner, and Rowdy. Kyle Busch wins the San Bernardino County 200. His 10th
box, and he will be penalized 1 full lap. Let's take a look back at what happened. There's Timothy in the pits right there. You see him?
And then they had to.
Yep, and they actually could not push the truck back, so
That's okay. But you hit it sometimes. Watch this.
that was Stacy just a few moments ago, and
Boy, that doesn't even
that's
really.
about as easy as you can hit it if he hit it.
I don't even think that really counts.
No, I wouldn't count that.
It definitely got his attention. He knew he was about to hit it, but darn, what a sitting there chomping at the bit to go get Todd. But he's got a truck he can do it with.
Ricky Carmichael in the 4 gets turned around. Problems behind him, trying to avoid the aid of Dennis
Trying to get back going, bud. Trying to get her going.
A lot of damage to that Malcolm Construction Chevrolet for Dennis Setzer. Dennis was having a good run in the top. I mean, on the lead lap.
Pretty hard front end damage here.
Somebody needs to tell Dennis to shut the motor off on that truck. He's going to lose all his oil. And
got heat in the left rear quarter pan.
Looks like it met the trailing arms or something on that truck. There's a 6 of Colin Brown. He gets in the back of Ricky going in the corner, turns Ricky around. Ricky's trying to keep that truck off the racetrack, trying to bring it back down to the apron. Chad McCumbee does a great job getting by. Look at Rick Crawford. Look at the job he does avoiding them. But unfortunately, Dennis Setzer had absolutely nowhere to go.
Setzer couldn't see through Crawford's truck. Setzer had no idea that Ricky was setting there. You can see, watch Rick. He just gets on the brakes and was able to avoid the 4, but then right into the back of Crawford came Setzer.
Take a look at this. The Ford onboard of Colin Brown. You see the contact there.
Stay with it here. Still offside.
Yeah. Gas, my truck's light, and I'm going to go to town.
12 laps of racing to go. Kyle Busch takes the green flag.
Kevin Harvick jumped to the outside of his teammate Ron Hornaday and made that pass.
And look at Terry Cook going around the outside of Kyle Busch. Did that thing sputter on the get-go, Phil?
It looked like it sputtered. It looks like it's not up to speed. Now it's getting up to speed.
Here comes Colin Brown on the outside, trying to take over second from Kyle Busch.
Oh!
Kyle Busch in front of it, but it's the 6 of Colin Brown that got turned around and hard into the inside wall.
Boy, straight into that inside wall.
Wow,
just in front of this truck was the 51 of Kyle Busch. He had to have had some help getting around coming out of
Yeah, they got all bottled up. When Terry Cook got on the outside of Kyle Busch, he didn't get a good run off.
On the inside.
You can see how slow Cook is off the turn. Colin gets right up on the back of Terry Cook, hits him, and then bam, Brian Scott hits Brown in the back and sends him to the inside wall.
Just straight. Look at that safer barrier. Thank goodness for that safer barrier on the inside wall on the back stretch.
Even with the bad start, a huge break for Kyle Busch.
You saw what happened, Rick. Look at that truck fly up in the air. You saw the 25 truck not get a good run off too.
Yep.
The 6 of Brown ran up on the back of Terry Cook, and then the 16 of Brian Scott didn't really know what was going on. He just had it hammered down.
You see Terry wiggling there. It looks like he got a little bit loose and then seized up just a little bit. Brian Scott, really, you can't not fault him. He just touched the back of the 6 of Colin Brown, turned him around. Hard contact in the inside wall.
Let's take another look from the very start of this race.
Now check it out. I think Kyle Busch's truck stumbles, which makes me wonder, will it ever have enough gas to get to the finish?
It goes fine right there. Then all of a sudden, it just stalls right there. Terry drives around on the outside. Then the fuel picks back up in the 51 truck. He's going to drive up to the inside.
Now look at the distance. The 6 closes on the 25. He comes right up on the back of the 20, hits the 25, but then gets hit by the 16.
I'll tell you what, the 5 of Mike Skinner hit the 16 into the 6.
It's almost like maybe Terry Cook's truck may have stalled for just a second up off that corner.
Watch this.
What a hard hit.
Look at how that safer barrier spreads out that impact. It takes time. It takes and stretches out how long it takes for that truck to reach its maximum impact. And that was a great illustration of what a wonderful invention the safer barrier is.
And how about the front end of that truck crushing in, so it absorbs some of the
Watch this now.
We're on board with Colin Brown now.
Watch him here. Clear low, clear, clear, clear.
He just had no idea he's getting ready to get hit.
We just got wrecked.
Yeah, he actually ran in the back of Terry Cook as well.
That was a chain reaction crash. Those are really hard to avoid. There's no way to understand what's going on up ahead of you. You can't see through these trucks.
Watch this safer barrier right there. Watch this now. Look at that thing give, Michael. Look at it give.
Oh, that makes me smile. Makes me so happy.
That thing moved in probably at least a foot.
Yeah, and did you see it spread out?
Yep. Ray Dunlap.
And guys, it was not a fuel issue for Kyle Busch.
Sideways.
Kyle Busch wobbles coming out of 4, and that closes the gap now. 1 to go. Kyle Busch in front of Kevin Harvick.
Ooh, Harvick lost a little ground there.
All over the back bumper. Kyle Busch came down when they came into turn number 1, closed the door. Let's see if Kevin Harvick has anything for him. 3 truck lengths separate the 2 as they enter turn 3.
Oh, he's sideways. He gets a little sideways early in the corner.
Sideways again. Here comes Kevin Harvick coming out of turn number 4. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick. Kyle Busch will win again. 4 wins at this racetrack for Kyle Busch. To his truck, and the caution comes out right away. We've got a spin at turn number 1. It was the 23 that got around Jason White.
Oh, he got into the fence too.
Yeah, gunbroker.com Dodge has a little bit of left rear damage, rear brake as you can, because as you talk about, Michael, you use so much. Watch this is another look at the bottom of your screen. You see it look like that's about the time that he would have got on the brakes, more than likely just locked up those rears, maybe wheel hopped a little bit and around that thing went. But the guys really want to utilize the rear brake as much as they can. So that's a fine line, that balance, and they're able to adjust that. They're able to adjust the bias between front and rear brakes, and they want to try to.
Carmichael getting a little bit loose in 3 and 4, got it turned around. Let's ride along with him.
Yeah, we're going to catch Ricky as he entering pretty good, gets to the center, and then just the back end just kicks out a little bit. About the time
Brakes.
he was ready to get back in the throttle.
Okay. hang on. They still ain't thrown the caution. I don't know why. Just sit here.
You can see right in the center of the corner, the back end kicked out, and then once it kicked out, it just snapped around.
Well, and that's all about momentum, Phil. He was trying to carry as much momentum through the center. See, Hornaday tried to make a run on Johnny Benson, but the lap truck there on the inside prevented him from doing so. But he's not going to prevent it now. He's under him off too.
Caution back out early. It's the 6 of Colin completely underneath the front tire.
Oh,
He's
wow.
going to get into the inside wall. I wonder if he
I think maybe
locked the brakes up, maybe?
He might have let off and tried to get on the inside of the 5 because of the chain reaction, like you said, Phil, and he turned the wheel too hard. Wow, that thing hit hard.
Boy, it really did. And it almost hit the 5 of Mike Skinner. See if we can take a look from Tom Bodine's onboard. The wheeling onboard.
Yeah, he was going to hit. You know, it's a chain reaction, like you said. He was going to run into the back of the 5, tried to avoid the 5, and hit the darn wall.
Yeah. Here's Colin right here. You see him, he had to dive to the inside to avoid running in the back of Mike Skinner, but unfortunately, at the same time, braking extremely hard, and the thing just turned left on him.
That was
Then look at Hornaday, looks to the inside.
There comes Hornaday battling for second.
Oh, he hits
gets
him.
into the side of him, and Hornaday is going to spin Johnny Benson around.
That was a situation where
Caution down.
Ron didn't quite have enough
Keep
room,
rolling, keep rolling.
and he bounced off the curb. He was down there. He committed to the inside.
Ago with Kyle Busch knocking Johnny Benson out of the way, and this is very similar.
Look, Ron hits the curb, like you said, Phil, and it knocks him up into the side of the one truck of Johnny Benson. Ron hits the curb or not, Johnny still don't feel very good about him spinning him out.
That's right. You could see when he hit the curb, then it shot that truck up 2 or 3 feet, and that was just enough to make contact with Johnny.
Johnny left him just enough room to get in there, but he didn't leave him any room for an error. And I think maybe Hornaday would have rubbed Johnny and Johnny wouldn't have spun had he not hit that curb.
I think
but
so
when he
too.
hit the curb, he jumped into the side of Johnny Benson and around Johnny went.
Adam, you were talking
On the outside is Dennis Setzer. He's driving that 8 truck. He's into the top 10. He won this race a year ago, knows exactly how to do it.
And he's won 3 times
Yeah.
here. I'm telling you, Dennis could drive the pace truck. Oh, Brent Raymer is around over in turn number 4.
So that
Run
brings
that extra
out
lap. We're going to come in and work on some more.
our 4th caution of the day has come out, and then potentially make it to the end of this race.
There's a replay right there. Brent Raymer had a little help. Look, maybe Chris Fontaine, the 84 truck, got into the back of him. Pit road is open. Most of the leaders stayed out. Brian Scott, the 16 truck. Fitzpatrick, they get together coming off 4. They make some more contact. Now Ricky's going to get down into turn number 1 on the inside. He's going to bounce off that
Oh, look at
curb.
those back tires. He got into a wheel hop situation. The back tires got to jump, and he had to let off the brake to keep it from spinning out. But when he let off the brake, he ran into the side of the 7.
Patrick, before he got to the lap truck of the 89.
It's a good battle there, 4 trucks. Stacy Compton leads that group.
Problems in turn number 2. The 85 gets turned around one more time. That's Brent Raymer. And this time the caution will come out again. Brent Raymer brought our 4th caution of the day out. Now this is the 6th time.
Ricky Carmichael might get our Aaron's lucky dog.
Ricky Carmichael does get the free pass. Take
Like
another
Brent
look.
might have got a little bit of help from Johnny Sauter in that 13 truck.
He's had trouble getting off turn 2 this year, hasn't he?
Johnny might not be one of the more popular drivers at the end of this race.
He had a lot of trouble at Daytona getting off.
Challenge to get back to pit road. I think that was more feedback for future reference. They're not talking about pitting, but certainly he is losing some grip as the run continues.
Well, then he's got a chance right here to take care of that.
Norm Benning gets turned around in the 57 right at the start finish.
15th position now. Just take a look at the replay. What happened to Norm? There he is coming off turn number 4 sideways, makes contact with the inside wall. Ron Hornaday has made his way up to the 13th spot. Remember, he was among the last group of trucks to pit on lap number 129.
He's just hoping some of those guys up ahead of him might come to pit road and get a couple of free spots right here. It looks like Stacy Compton in front of him is coming to pit road, but that's the extent of it. So he'll move up to 12th. He's got the best tires on the track. And
in turn number 3, Todd gets in the throttle, gets a little bit sideways, does a great job saving it, but he just gets behind on his steering, makes a little bit of contact. Right
look at all
now,
the debris.
right now he's hoping that piece of splitter falls off, but not into the right front tire.
It won't run long like that, Phil. Look at that.
You heard him driving the whole time, though, on the throttle, off the throttle, trying to get that truck straight. There's Ron Hornaday, Matt Kraft, and that. I would think that was probably the precursor to what happened to Jason here.
Yeah,
And
you
that-
generally you generally better make sure if you hit somebody, you can get away from them until they calm down.
Kind of like Jimmy did yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnson, when he took
Adam, what are they saying about that 2 and fuel mileage?
They feel very good about it. I just went over and talked to crew chief Ernie Cope, said, are you good to go the distance? Have you got enough caution flags? And as we talk about Harvick, we have a spin with one of his young drivers on track.
Ricky Carmichael, there was also another truck involved in this. There was 2 trucks spinning along the back.
a little bit of contact, and then they get hung together. And Chris goes around, then Ricky goes around, gets into the outside wall.
Looked like Ricky had the same thing that sort of happened to Talladega. He couldn't get his steering caught up. He got into the side of the 84 by certainly wasn't intended, but the truck just got to swarping back and forth, and he couldn't quite catch up with it.
Swarping?
Harry Gant.
Yep. That's what I thought.
I thought you were going to science it out for us once again.
See, Hermie Sadler right there does a nice job avoiding the 4. They made a little bit of contact. TNT on board Hermie's truck.
11th caution of the day has come out. You see the damage to the 23. It wasn't only Jason White involved in this one. Let's take a look.
Talladega gets on the inside of Max Pappas, and Max is okay with that. But his spotter must have said clear behind Todd, and Jason said, no, it's not.
And it might have been for a split second, but that's how quickly things happen here at Martinsville. Jason came along to try to take that spot, use that hole that Todd opened up, and unfortunately Max had already come back down to the bottom of the racetrack, and there's the contact, and James Buescher right behind Jason White, absolutely nowhere to go, gets in the back of Jason. Worked out okay for Max.
Max is still going. Jason's got some severe damage to that truck of his. The gun broke.
The battle has begun. Harvick looks to the inside early. Kyle Busch holding him off through 1 and 2.
Crash into 1. Big crash for TJ Bell.
Problems for the 11. Look at the damage to the back and front of that truck.
Talladega got down on the inside of TJ, and TJ just kept coming over and over.
Todd up through the gears, gets down to the inside, and just TJ was kind of moving his way over there, and Todd made contact just about before it was even time to get on the brakes.
That was a big crash here at Martinsville. You don't tear one up much worse than that here.
Slammed into the inside wall and then kicked it back out to the outside wall, and you see frustration. There is.
And with Hornaday all over the back of him.
Now Kevin Harvick.
Check up, caution's out.
Check out, and oh, the caution comes out. The 48, the 84 get turned around. And so Hermie Sadler having a great Harvick up front. Take a look. Hermie Sadler was up on the curb there a bit. 48. Johnny Sauter has to get turned around.
Remember, see the left rear quarter panel. There's the contact right there that got that fender in the tire, but that's what allowed Kevin.
Green flag back in the air.
That may be the best restart anybody has ever gotten on Ron Hornaday right there. Great job by Kevin Harvick on this restart.
You think maybe that could have been choreographed a little bit? Harvick get squared away from Hornaday, giving him a bit of a cushion, knowing that Hornaday could then run back up to Harvick and then distance himself from Skinner.
Trouble.
Problems on the back stretch and into turn 3 and 4. We stay green, and now the caution comes out. That will mean Kevin Harvick will win at Martinsville. Kevin Harvick grabbing his 4th series race.
See what happens here late in the going. Looks like the 16 of Brian Scott gets into the back of Terry Cook, and he gets into Todd Bodine, and it ends a really what looked to be a promising day for Todd.
Yeah. Frustrating, though. Obviously, they were working very hard at keeping sponsors.
Got our defending champion Johnny Benson, that one Red Horse truck right by. Oh, Ricky's getting sideways.
Sideways goes Ricky Carmichael. Will he save it? Johnny Benson taps him. The field slows behind him. How about that for Johnny Benson? The caution flag will come out. Our first caution comes out on lap 3 of this race. Ricky Carmichael got a little bit loose. And then I tell you what, an awesome job by Johnny Benson slowing down just enough to just barely tap him.
Johnny you could see him slam on the brakes. Watch, Ricky's on the inside. Remember, the truck on the inside loses a little bit of that air off the spoiler. There he is right there. Watch Johnny. You see him just barely nudges him in the left rear corner. I don't think it did a whole lot of damage to Johnny's truck. Ricky does a good job not letting that truck slide back up in the racetrack. Here's another view.
This is almost like he was on 2 wheels, sliding through the turn.
Remember, low air pressure, just started this race, full of fuel. The worst possible scenario, and having somebody up above you robbing the air off that spoiler.
And so our first caution has come out. It's Ricky Carmichael that brings the caution out, but he stays on the lead lap.
Setzer.
James Busher in the 10 back
Oh,
there.
trouble.
Truck.
Todd
The 30
Bodine.
of Todd Bodine into the wall now. He got loose up high and then goes right back up into the wall. The second caution of the day today.
That is so rare that you see Todd Bodine have trouble like this. We'll see if we can take a look at, see if maybe there was some contact somewhere. Maybe Todd just got loose up on the high side.
A lot of damage to the front end of that truck. We points behind Kyle Busch, who's not here today. There's another look.
He was running about 13th when this happened. Looked like he might have got high, maybe got the right side tires and that loose stuff. When he got sideways, he was trying to catch the truck, and all of a sudden the front end grabbed and it turned him into the outside wall.
This is Rick Crawford's view.
Oh, Todd was on the inside of another truck and got loose. That's what happened. That's what put him up in the loose stuff.
Right along with Todd, will feel what he had happen.
Yeah, he's going to drive to the inside of a truck, and just like Ricky Carmichael, he's going to get loose on the bottom. He chases the truck up the hill. You hear him working the throttle. He has it saved there, and then the thing catches. The right front catches and into the outside wall.
So Todd Bodine now has taken.
Dennis coming off turn number 4. He actually moves up the racetrack. TJ was there. TJ did a nice job of trying to give Dennis as much room as he could. You see the damage, and then there goes Brian Eichler down on the inside in the 51 truck.
Yeah, he and Ricky Carmichael way through this competition caution run.
There's the battle for 5th. Terry Cook, the AutismSpeaks.org Toyota out of the Jim Harris stables, and Johnny Benson out of the Red Horse stable. Trouble on the racetrack.
We've got, Ricky Carmichael once again. Johnny Benson. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's TJ Bell in the 11.
Yeah, they were wrong. We saw them running together about 3 or 4 laps ago. A lot of damage this time to Ricky Carmichael, the monster.
On those two vehicles.
Coming in right of your screen. They're already together there. Somehow they got together getting in the corner. Both make pretty significant contact with the outside wall.
And again, there's a competition caution scheduled around lap 85. That means that if anyone would come onto pit road now, they can change tires, do adjustments to the race truck. But welcome back under our 8th caution of the race. It was Terry Cook who got into turn 2, the wall in turn 2. Oh, and he rolls off the jack as they were working on that. Let's take a look riding along with him.
Yeah, looks like Terry cut a tire down there. It was a slow leak. At least it didn't blow out. It deflated.
Dennis Setzer in the 8, down on the bottom of the racetrack. David Starr. Oh, and the caution has come out once again. That is Terry Cook once again in the 25. They must have had a rub on that right side to cut a tire once again.
Yeah, they had to. That's probably what put
Speaks.org Toyota Tundra.
You can see right there the right front tire goes down. No, absolutely nothing a driver can do about that when the right front tire goes like it did on Terry. Terry had finished on the lead lap here the last 7 races, and unfortunately not gonna happen today.
He's running at the end of all 8 races that have been run at this racetrack, and it doesn't look like that streak.
Sure haven't.
Ray, what's happening with Taylor?
Well, they started out the race with
Problems, right? We've got problems on the racetrack. The 17 of Timothy Peters into the inside wall.
Remember, he was that group of 4 trucks that we were watching.
See if we get it started.
With Ryan Newman and the 16 of Brian Scott.
Under Brian Scott, looks like it sucked the air off of him.
Yeah, so many times. Gets down in the corner pretty good. Then he bottoms out. Watch, he has to chase it up the hill. Now he gets really close, and that's when you really lose that air. And there he just lost the air off that rear spoiler, and around he went. Pretty significant contact with the inside wall.
For most of that corner, he thought he was okay. You know, he got down on the inside. It made a pretty good turn through the center, but as it exited, it washed up, got right next to the 16 of Brian Scott. He couldn't hold on to it.
If he could have maintained that several feet in between he and Brian Scott, he probably would have been okay. But once he got out next to Brian Scott, then all the downforce went off the back of that truck.
Unfortunate for Timothy Peters. Our first caution of the night has come out. Point green flag back in the air. It's Chad McCumbee leading the field to the green.
Great restart by Rick Crawford. He dove down on the inside of the 6th truck of Colin Brown. Can he hold it down there?
You know, he held it wide open when he went down through there, through 1 and 2.
He's not going to clear him. He won't be able to do that in turn 3.
Getting up to speed, everyone going down the back stretch. Colin Brown able to hold on to that 2nd spot. Now teammates side by side. That's James Busher on the outside of Rick Crawford. Here's 2 and 3 wide just behind him, coming out of 4.
Oh,
Taylor Molson was completely sideways and spinning through the grass.
And back out onto the racetrack in front of a few trucks.
Oh, Skinner gets clobbered. Skinner gets hit hard down into turn 1.
On his side is Mike Skinner, back on the wheels now. He got hit very hard.
He was,
I'm okay.
He got turned around after Malsom spun off 4. I just happened to be watching it. He was sliding backwards, went up in the middle of the racetrack and got clobbered from behind. But we heard him say he's all right.
Action lights are going to come on, I believe, when Taylor Malsom gets sideways.
There's Skinner up ahead.
See him on the inside of the 13 of Johnny Sauter.
Oh, Sauter pinches him a little bit low.
Pinches him into the grass. Now watch
There's
this.
There's a white
now.
truck that clobbers him. Watch this.
Right there.
Very hard hit. Got completely underneath that 5.
Hard hit. Is that TJ Bell in the 11 truck?
I believe it is.
Take another look. There, Skinner was in the grass. Now you see the caution light come on.
See the roof flap goes up, and then TJ Bell. Ooh, wow.
He had no idea. TJ Bell had no idea that 5 was coming up the racetrack.
No, he couldn't. He couldn't. Even if he had it, there wasn't anywhere he could have went.
Nothing he could have done. This is real time. The 5 truck on the inside. Skinner gets sideways.
Just jumps around with him. You can see he's got his wheels cut to the right, trying to save it from it spinning, and he never got them turned back to the left. And when it got straightened up, you know, it didn't have any way else to go except for into that outside wall.
A hard hit by Mike Skinner into the wall, and it was so comforting to hear him say, "I'm okay."
See, Johnny Sauter had Matt Crafton above him. He moved down to give Matt a little bit more room and then squeezed Mike Skinner down into the grass.
I just can't. I'm just so happy Mike's okay. Look at that. That's terrible.
That's an unbelievable accident. I tell you what, that shot we just saw, there was a cameraman right next to the catch fence when Skinner got up into it.
Look at all this camera work the speed crew's doing. I mean, these shots are incredible. Watch this impact. Look how close the cameraman has this 5 truck zeroed in, and look at TJ Bell. Wham!
Wow, that is incredible.
Great camera work to capture that action.
Look at all the debris flying everywhere. A spring bouncing across down the racetrack on the outside.
What an unbelievable ride Mike Skinner just had.
Every now and then, as a race car driver, you're in a wreck, and you just it was unavoidable. And I don't think TJ Bell had a prayer.
No.
It happened so fast. I don't think he had a prayer of making any call. Look at TJ just ahead there in that white truck.
Ironically, TJ made contact with Taylor Malsom to start that incident.
Easy. Can't help you a lot there. Go down. Go down. Come on back up. Come on up. Good job, buddy. Real good.
11 of TJ Bell.
Well, TJ Bell runs into the side of the 81 of Taylor Malsom. Must have got a little loose up under Taylor, spun him. But that didn't have anything to do with what happened to Skinner. Look at Jason White. He was all over the back of Kyle Busch.
I think he spun to avoid running into the back of Kyle Busch.
Did a great job of never getting it going the wrong direction.
Well, all that was happening behind.
There's Taylor Malsom spinning to the grass. And there's Skinner just going under our camera.
Taylor makes some more contact with the...
Brian Newman coming.
Problems on the racetrack.
Colin Brown is going to come
into the wall. The 16 of Brian Scott as well. Colin Brown continuing to careen off the inside wall. He was your race leader, and it looks as though he has problems, gets sent to the outside wall, and that brings our 3rd caution out of the night.
And what a...
Trying to get around the 16. It looks like he's moving to the inside, and that's Kyle Busch. Got into the back of him.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, Kyle Busch absolutely got into the rear of that truck and turned him into the outside wall, and then Colin came down and careened into the inside wall. Brian Scott was an innocent victim there as well.
I mean, Kyle just thought that he was going to get in behind the 6, and he totally ran into the right rear quarter of him and crashed him.
What a horrible break for Colin Brown. Here's Kyle Busch. He's trying to go around the outside. Colin Brown stays to the inside to move by Brian Scott. You see his nose on the inside of the 16 truck, so there's no way that Colin was up too high. No. And Kyle just ran into his right rear corner and turned him into the wall.
And you know, Colin Brown was so frustrated there. He's had a tough season. And
Johnny moves over. Remember, Johnny script 3 wide here.
Take a look at this. David Gilliland again on the tail end.
Sideways.
Goes around. He was your race leader and into the
down through traffic. I hope everybody can dodge him.
Still coming. They're still
Oh,
coming.
so
Hang on,
close.
bud.
The second race in a row that Todd has trouble, spins on the inside of another truck. Same thing happened to him at Kansas last time out. Now Matt Crafton's going to make it 3 wide. Nothing wrong with that. You see he's down on the bottom.
And he even gave him the corner. He let off, and Todd went ahead and dove in the corner. And when he turned left, hard late there, Phil, there just wasn't any air on the right side of that truck. And watch this red truck. Oh,
Wow.
so close. That's Chris
Jones, I believe, in the 87 did a nice job avoiding him. Here's another view. You see Todd, Matt Crafton backs off. Todd's going to get loose and wiggle, and then he chases it up the hill. The closer he gets to the 7 of David Gillen, the less air he has on the rear spoiler, and around he goes.
And anybody in this field, including Todd Bodine, would have did what Matt Crafton did. Don't blame Matt Crafton for that, Ray. He had a good run. He just shot down on the inside, and then he even backed off a little bit early and said, okay, you can have the corner. You beat me there. So Matt didn't do anything wrong. Todd's truck just got away from him.
Yeah, and Todd looked as though he was trying to stay away from the 7 of Gilliland, too. He could have went up the racetrack and made contact with Gilliland to save his truck, but he stayed out of that truck, and that got him spun around.
He just drove on down in the corner.
They're everywhere. Come on. Dig. Great job. Come on. Keep digging. Caution.
So the 4th caution of the night. Ron Hornaday out in front. Kyle Busch is caught back up to the 2nd position. And remember, he was running 2nd when Colin Brown was leading this race, and he got into the back of Colin Brown. Let's hear from Colin.
Well, he is out of the infield care center. That's the good news. The truck looks pretty used up. Your thoughts about what happened on the racetrack?
Well, you know, it's just disappointing, I guess, is the best way to put it. All these guys on my team put so much work into these trucks. I mean, all the hours back at the shop to get this truck ready to come race here, and you know, it's disappointing that something like that happens, but you know.
If you get a set of tires like Ron Hornaday got, maybe it isn't so bad to come in and get 4 right now, huh, Phil?
That's right. James on the inside of David Starr. Looks like he may have touched the apron there, slid up the racetrack, and again, same situation. He got close to the 24 of David Starr, just lost the air off that rear spoiler.
I think he got a little shallow into the turn, Phil.
Drove in a little too straight.
He hit the apron a little bit, clipped the apron. You can see the truck bottom out a little bit.
They're in front of you.
Been in front of you, and
Been in front of you,
one of them's passing.
I'm going to let you go on that one.
There's the white flag. Just has to survive this lap, and he's got the victory.
1.5 miles remaining for Ron Hornaday. See if he can make it back into victory lane.
My point was, they had him a lap down at one point, Rick. They had that 33 truck a lap down. He came back from that, made his lap up, and now sitting there leading the race late in the going.
Last year, October, Texas, the last time Ron Hornaday was in victory lane. He's going to take the Longhorn Chevy Silverado back to victory lane at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Oh, trouble! Wall. Another truck just behind him. It's J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 4.
Hold the brake. Hold the brake.
That's JR's first ride in a Kevin Harvick Incorporated truck.
Coming off tours.
Happened to Mike Skinner. Look, he's on the inside of Terry Cook. They get together. Terry gets completely sideways, as does Skinner. What a great save by both those guys.
I can't tell you the job Skinner did. That thing was just committed, it looked like, to get back into the outside wall, but he was able to save it. Let's watch him down on the inside. He's vulnerable here. Gets into Terry just a little bit. It about wrecks him, but what's the job Terry Cook does?
Did you see how far his wheels had to be turned to the right to save that truck?
Great job by Mike Skinner to hold on to that truck, as well as Terry Cook. They stay going straight while they were in front of J.R. Fitzpatrick. This is him coming out of turn 2, and he is completely sideways and gets into the inside wall.
He was on the inside of another truck that could have robbed that truck from some air on the rear downforce, just like we saw earlier with Todd Bodine the last couple races.
Just another look from the 4th turn camera, and you can see, looks like all 4 tires are probably up right there. I think that air just got him, Phil. He got down, pinched down on the low side, and the thing just spun around on him.
This is what the 10 of James Busher saw just in front of him.
Oh, he clips that apron just a little bit. You don't have to touch that apron much for it to upset that truck.
24-degree banking in the corner. The apron may be banked about 4.
An aggressive driver, but he's got to say, I got to get to the finish today. I can't mess up again, and that's a kind of a tough way to race, huh, Phil?
Contact right there. They had some contact.
Debris on the racetrack. We saw it.
Yeah, Colin Brown and Todd Bodine got together. 6 of Colin Brown and the 30 of Todd Bodine. Todd's going to commit to the outside. And actually makes a little bit of contact with the right rear corner of that Conway Ford.
Knocked him sideways too.
As soon as he got sideways, the 13.
The trip to pit road has helped Todd Bodine tremendously. He didn't like his truck when the race started. We saw him sideways off turn 3 or turn 4. We said he can't make another mistake. I bet he's.
Caution out, truck.
Oh, pointly.
Let's take a look. This is after contact has already been made.
Right as he dove off into turn 1, looked like a thing just went straight into the outside wall.
And absolutely nothing he could do but just go along for the ride.
You wouldn't think that after we've just saw the nationwide cars run up to 60-some laps on their tires, you wouldn't.
For the first 6 races, right?
He's over a second off the pace, Phil. If that thing's vibrating, I'd pit.
Come to pit road. It's not worth it.
Caution, caution, debris, caution.
Oh, we caught a break. That's why he stayed out there to try to catch that break, and he did. But that thing was going backwards in a hurry.
So many times you do that to try to catch a caution list. And look at it.
Blew up coming out of, or coming across the start-finish line.
So lucky. He had slowed down a little bit for the caution, and he was able to save that truck from hitting the outside wall.
I'm telling you, that truck would have looked just like Ron Hornaday's truck had the caution not been out, and he'd be under reduced speed.
And that tire blew right in the middle of the front stretch. Take a listen to this.
That hurt my ears.
Oh, it hurt my heart, because I know when you hear that sound, what's fixing to happen next, and that's the outside wall. You could hear he was out of the throttle, about half throttle down the front straightaway, and still the tire just blew that right front fender plumb off the truck.
We're here with the 60 of Stacy Compton. Watch this, JR on the outside. Stacy's going to slide up the racetrack, gets loose, has to chase it up the hill, makes a little bit of contact with JR. Stacy does a great job saving that truck.
You know, I love, check the way these guys all.
He lost that one, and now he's into the wall over on turn 2.
Sure enough, we saw the right front tire just shred there, and into the wall goes Colin. Also the 6 of Colin Brown. They were 1 and 2. Kyle loses the lead. Also Colin Brown now gets into the wall.
Michael, we knew that they couldn't do it. We knew they couldn't run that far. That leaves David Starr, the 24 truck, with the lead. Adam.
I believe he can get to pit road, pull the fender out, and still have a fast truck. You can see Colin Brown up ahead. He just barreled right into the outside wall.
Mike Skinner goes by. Colin Brown inherits the lead and doesn't go one corner.
Remember, a year ago, it was a strategy call for Scott Speed that made it into victory lane for him, and that was his first win in NASCAR. Could we see it again today? The white flag is already in the air. Brian Scott down the backstretch, trying to hold on for his first win in the Camping World Truck Series.
Setzer's closing. He dives into turn 3 and makes some ground on Brian Scott, but he can't get there. He's going to win.
Brian Scott will win at the Monster Mile.
Woo, baby, yeah.
Wow.
Good job, guys. Woo. Always front brake. I'm going to do a burnout.
And so they will run a little higher line so they don't have to try to pinch it down on the white line. How about this on the right side? Do you remember Lowe's Motor Speedway? Rick Crawford and James Busher battling for position. We've got a caution on the racetrack. The first one coming out here on lap 41.
Looks like Brian Scott may have a tire issue. Looks like maybe pieces of rubber coming out from under that truck. Looks.
Peek at it. Happening a little bit late. He's already up there.
Already in the wall right there. Obviously that right front tire deflated and sent him up to the top of the racetrack. Let's take a look at what Ricky Carmichael and that monster Chevrolet saw. Watch. You see Brian, he felt the tire going down. He moved up the racetrack, just couldn't keep it out of the outside wall. But Ricky does a nice job of avoiding Brian Scott.
Please get me around one more time here at Texas Motor Speedway. White flag in the air.
What a great day it'll be for all the Copart people. Jay Adair and all his family here for the first time. And Todd can make it another half a lap. They'll be in victory lane.
Cruising down the backstretch. He knows he has just about a second and a half over Matt Crafton. Trying to hold on. Once again, breaking the bad luck streak that they've had in the 2009 season. Todd Bodine will win at Texas again. 5 times for Bodine.
Great run for Matt Crafton.
Skinner had some choice words for Brian Scott. He was not happy with the way he had raced him on the track. And Hornaday's in trouble.
Sideways for Ron Hornaday. It looks like no contact as of yet.
Whoa, everybody had to go up around him.
Yeah, he was right in front of that big pack that we were watching. The left rear tire was flat when he was sideways. I don't know if that maybe that caused this accident or that maybe came after the accident, but you can see the left rear tire now right down on the wheel.
I believe that
truck is he knows right now something's wrong.
Right.
Yeah, Matt Crafton did a nice job avoiding it, and Ron Hornaday did a nice job not letting that truck typically your truck will slide up to the outside wall, but Ron did a nice job.
Watch him. He's still driving it. He's still not convinced he can't keep it going straight.
Yeah, the whole time. You see, watch him get back in the throttle.
Need a little gas here
to try to get it back down away from the outside of the racetrack.
That was a slow spin in that turtle wax truck. In Talladega, these trucks are glued together and racing all over each other.
Look at Hornaday dive to the bottom to make it side by side for the lead.
Side by side, Ron Hornaday on the bottom, up into the wall. James Buescher in the wall.
Brian Scott with him.
The 16 of Brian Scott and that Albertson's Toyota Tundra, and the caution flag comes out for the first time today.
It almost looked like they got hooked together.
And I bet you the truck on the bottom, Buescher, got a little bit sideways. I was just waiting for that to happen. We've seen guys dance around quite a lot.
Right? Oh, yeah.
This is a huge hit. You can see Buescher down on the inside of Johnny
he gets
Saunders.
completely sideways.
Gets loose and overcorrects, and wham, Brian Scott minding his own business and gets taken right into the wall. That happened. That came close to happen 3 or 4 times already, Phil, and finally it got away from Buescher. Let's check this out in real time. Look at this hit these guys take.
See him completely sideways, and then he just turns hard right, catches Brian Scott. Absolute innocent victim right there.
Yeah, right into the safer barriers, and thank goodness for those safer barriers.
Look at the debris scattering after that. Watch these trucks hit. Wham!
Thank goodness for that softer wall or the safer barrier. Adam, what's going on with Brian Scott? Is he okay?
He's okay, I think, but Phil.
Falling in behind the 51, letting the 51 break the air. Problems on the racetrack.
There's Hornaday involved.
Hornaday, as well as the 60 of Stacy Compton, and into the wall. It looks like the 07 potentially of Chad McCumbee.
Hornaday's going to
into pit road. I hope neither one of those guys was speeding, but here's how this incident started here.
Oh, wow.
Down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Looked like McCumbee.
That was actually Hornaday. Looked like he got on the inside of that yellow line, and it sent him up the racetrack.
McCumbee cut across in front of Hornaday. It took Hornaday's angle away. He slowed down, and Stacy Compton just drove right in the back of him. I'm not sure. Looked like Hornaday was at a reduced speed when he went down into turn 1. This is after it already happened. That first look gives us a pretty good idea what happened. For some reason, McCumbee felt like he had Hornaday cleared and drove straight to the bottom and turned himself sideways.
Now take a look at this one more time. That look we were talking about earlier.
Watch as they enter one here, Phil. You can see.
They'll come into your screen right here.
Right in there.
Hornaday's right on the bottom. And there goes McCumbee cutting across Hornaday's front, and Hornaday up the hill.
Yeah, it was a deal of McCumbee coming down the hill, Hornaday going up the hill, and then they met.
Back on pit road. Let's go back down to Adam.
Look at Skinner. We watched him march from the back earlier, down on the bottom of the racetrack. One of the few trucks that'll do that. He and Colin Brown. Oh, no!
The 15 of Eichler gets into the back of the 24 and sliding back in front of the field, and now we've got a couple other trucks that have tied up.
Got clipped.
Man, Skinner did an awesome job missing that crash.
David Starr in the 24, Johnny Sauter in the 13, caught up in this. The 15 of Eichler, it looked like he had to chase that truck up and got back into the back of the one was Ron Hornaday. So Ron Hornaday will be back on the lead lap.
You can
watch
see
this
here.
now. Watch the 15 of Brian Eichler. He's going to slide up the racetrack, make contact with David Starr in the 24. Now look at all the smoke. We can see Mike Skinner. Mike Skinner couldn't see anything but smoke.
He clipped the 24 truck a little bit, it looked like.
Got through it. You see the 30 made some contact, or had some contact made from the 13. The 17 of Timothy Peters also with some damage to that truck.
Watch this black truck down on the bottom. He doesn't have any prayer of getting underneath that 24 truck, so he goes high and makes it.
Did he lock the brakes up?
It looks like he locked the brakes up, and maybe that's what turned that truck right, and it worked out for him.
Take another look.
This is what Mike Skinner right here saw.
Or didn't see.
Or didn't see.
I got the 30. 14, 30s on the outside.
He just knows that.
In front of it.
Wow. He just knows that 24 truck's going to come straight down.
Just back under green flag conditions. Kyle Busch in front of Colin Brown, and that actually is a pass. I had mentioned earlier that Kyle won the race.
J.R. Fitzpatrick, around he goes.
In front of the traffic. He slides into the wall. Let's see if everyone stays away as he tries to keep it
pretty hard
in the middle of the track. Sure enough, J.R. Fitzpatrick, a lot of damage to that race truck.
Remember, new tires, full of fuel. That's when,
and it's just going to take the wind away from him a little bit. Phil made a bit of an abrupt move down to the inside of Setzer.
Talladega barely avoided J.R. Fitzpatrick as he slid back up into the outside wall.
Anytime you hit on that left side, it's just violent. Watch him try to cut underneath the red truck there, did a Setzer, and the thing just got away from him.
Just about had it saved, and then the right front caught and turned it back into the outside wall.
You know, from up here in the booth, you can always be the armchair quarterback, but you'd think, boy, if he would have just kept it locked down to the left, he had all that concrete, he could have slid.
In front of you. Carry to the outside, go low, keep digging.
Nice job by Mike Swain, Mike Skinner's spotter.
So 5 cautions.
That's a relief right there. At least he knows if the caution flies, he's won the race. So he's got a big enough cushion over second. He can just run 3/4 speed over this next lap and win this race. Getting the white flag was a big deal for that kid. We'd heard him talk earlier about his restarts. He didn't want to have to deal with that.
And he's not going to have a restart.
He's definitely changing history in the Camping World Truck Series at this racetrack. No one has ever started outside the top 10 or outside the top 11 and won this race. 12th, the starting position for Colin Brown. Can he bring it all the way home and all the way to victory lane? Coming out of turn number 4, the final lap.
There you go, buddy. Good job. Awesome, man. Way to go.
We said he could run that last lap 3/4. He currently, right now, would get the lucky dog from Aaron's if the caution were to fly, but he is 2 down.
Oh, problems right in front of him. Jason White into the wall in that 23.
Tough break for Jason White in that gunbroker.com Dodge. Jason is really coming to his own here in this last little bit. He's got 5 finishes of 14th or better in the last 5 races.
Yeah, that's a new trend
to the wall. Turn 1-2. Let's take a look at what happened.
Oh, slid up the hill a little bit, and to avoid running into Terry Cook, he cut his truck harder to the left, Phil, and when they made contact, it just spun him out.
Yeah, he's in here a little bit hot. You can see he was all the way above that newer pavement. Pretty significant contact with the
Do fuel and tires on this round of pit stops.
Is this a gamble for Todd Bodine to stay on the racetrack right now? Oh, we've got a problem on the racetrack. Eric Almirola gets turned around.
No caution yet. He's sitting in the groove. There's the caution flag.
Caution comes out. It's the 3rd one of the day. And guess what? Only 10 trucks were on the lead lap.
And what a horrible break for Mike Skinner. They gambled. They came under green to get tires, and it's going to bite him, Michael. It goes by in the 8. There's Rick Crawford in the 14. The 6th of Colin Brown is going to come along here on the outside.
Oh, I bet you, yeah, he might have grabbed 3rd gear there, Phil. You thinking?
Might have, yeah.
Will hopped it a little bit. The thing just spun around, either like he put it in 3rd gear and it upset the truck, or he had a lot. I don't think that much rear brake would have turned him around that fast.
I wouldn't think so, but unfortunately, nobody made any contact.
Now Skinner, like you said, this is a blow, but I don't think it's a blow that he can't overcome.
Unfortunately, he may be 2 laps down right now. And we've got so
great truck right now.
All by yourself. Smooth.
Brian Scott takes the position away from Todd Bodine.
And that's literal right here. There's the contact into the back of that Copart Toyota. And then Brian just turns that thing left. Todd's still trying to corral that truck right there. Here's the contact right here from his onboard. This is a Toyota onboard. There's the contact with Todd. Todd's still a little bit loose, has to chase it up the hill. Opens up the bottom of the racetrack for Brian. Caution flag is out for Chad McCumbee.
McCumbee gets into the wall, so it brings out our 5th caution of the day, and we're closing in on the hard
He's taking advantage of it too, isn't he?
For that 0-7, let's take another look. You see the smoke already.
Yeah,
like the motor might have went away.
Yeah. Does a nice job of keeping that truck out of the outside wall.
Ron Hornaday has taken the white flag. Dennis Setzer still 12 truck lengths back. Brian Scott trying a last-ditch effort to get 2nd away. Ron Hornaday looking for his 41st win in the Camping World Truck Series, a continuing record. As it comes out of turn number 4, Hornaday will be a repeat winner at the Milwaukee Mile.
Every now and then the fastest truck wins. And
This is certainly a case of that.
Case today, the guy that had the dominant truck was able to.
And now it's Eric Almirola's turn. We'll see if he can close in on that 33 of Hornaday. Hornaday has been dominant today. Oh, we've got problems with the 84, and he catches the 10 and the 8 as well. The 07 involved. So Jason Young, we've got Dennis Setzer, we've got James Busher all into the inside wall in turns 3 and 4.
Look at what happened here. Watch for the 07. There's look in front. You see the smoke. Dennis Setzer, the 8. Ooh, the 84 was in the outside wall. The 07 had slowed. It looked like maybe on the bottom of the racetrack, and then possibly the 10 made contact with him. There's another view. Yes, looks like maybe the 07 and the 10 possibly got together, or maybe the 07 just got sideways.
So the 07 into the inside wall, and there you see the damage to the front.
Camber out.
Side
Oh, trouble.
Problems right there in front of us. The 51 of Brian Eichler goes around.
Ricky
It looked like
Carmichael got to the
him.
inside of Brian Eichler, and Brian came down the hill. They made contact. You can see the damage to the left rear quarter, that Mikasuki Toyota. That's where the contact came from the 4 of Ricky Carmichael.
As we've completed 75 laps now, take another look. That 4 was down there. It looked like Brian was trying to take up real estate that was already taken.
Yeah, David Starr had gotten by Brian, and Brian was going to try to follow him in to the corner on the bottom of the racetrack, and Ricky stuck his nose up in there. He was all the way up to the rear tire. I'm sure Brian didn't think he was going to make that move. They made contact. Unfortunately, not a great deal of damage to either one of those trucks.
In the Copart Challenge of Champions, go to Copart.com for that race. And this is a big battle right now between 8th, 9th, and 10th. A caution comes out on the racetrack. Take a look at that. That's Dennis Setzer in the 8 sliding through the infield, as well as the 81 of Taylor Malsum is stopped on the racetrack.
Wow, caution late. That 2.5 second lead that Ron Hornaday ever had on restarts.
Brian Scott right on his back bumper, as is David Starr behind him. Green flag back in the air. Here we go. 2 laps of racing from Memphis.
Here comes David Starr to the inside.
David Starr trying to take second away from Brian Scott. Those 3 separate themselves, and they're able to hold on to their positions through 1 and 2. Down the backstretch they go. Hornaday with Brian Scott right on his back bumper. A good race now for 4th and 5th. Matt Crafton and the 15 of Eric Almirola. Here comes the 5 of Mike Skinner. The white flag goes in the air. The battle for the lead. 2 truck links between Hornaday and the 16 of Brian Scott.
Oh,
Here comes Skinner.
Almirola on the inside.
Almirola takes the position away from both Crafton and Skinner as he chases it up the racetrack. And now a clean racetrack in front of the 33. Hornaday will come to the start-finish line and win his 2nd Elvis Trophy in Memphis.
Contact there, middle of the pack. Mike Skinner, Timothy P.
from Kentucky, next on speed. Problems for Brian Scott. Oh, he was running 2nd, and into the wall. We see the sparks underneath his truck.
Stacey Compton, I think, got on the inside of Brian Scott and might have.
Coming into this race, 6th in the points. We take another look.
Oh, you see the tire going down already. Stacey had absolutely nothing he can do about it.
That's such a shame.
You know, it looked like the tire was going down when he got into the turn.
Oh, it's going down on the straightaway. Watch now. You're going to see the tire rubber probably come off. Listen.
Right there.
You heard it blow right there. Brian gets down to the corner, turns his steering wheel. Nothing happens. He goes up there and bounces off Stacey, forces him in the wall. Ray, they're on pit road, buddy.
His grandfather was down in the pits talking about Taylor and how impressed they've been with his ability to race this truck. These are his first laps he's led. Drove to the front of this thing and was driving away from him.
Looks like hard contact for J.J. Yaley in that 73. Look at the front end all smashed in on that truck.
Tough break. This is a new team.
And tonight,
he's going to get on the inside of Almirola off turn 4.
This is the battle for the lead. Down at the bottom of the racetrack. Hornaday takes the lead away from Eric Almirola.
Let's see if Taylor Malsum can follow him by Eric Almirola. Remember, that 81 truck has been very, very good tonight. Look at Tom Bodine go to the outside of Malsum.
Oh, we got a crash.
Terry Cook just behind him. Terry Cook in the 25 trying to hang on. Now he slides down in front of another truck and into the infield area.
Gets clobbered by Brian Eichler.
You can see the rear end has moved way over.
Terry Cook sliding back behind our leaders.
He's going to come down the track across in front of these oncoming trucks. Eichler in the smoke, can't see, nowhere to go, and probably clobbers
Right there. There's Eichler right there clobbering that Harris Trucking Toyota of Terry Cook.
And remember, the 6 is also involved in this.
Let's try to find the 6 here.
I think he's the one that was right behind. There's
where do you go
that's
here?
The 6 that's already right. No, that was Brian Scott with Terry Cook. Ooh.
Hard hit.
A lot of
Again,
damage.
that was the 51 of Brian Eichler we were riding along with.
We never did see Colin Brown. Let's take a look and see what happened with the 6 of Colin Brown. Let's ride with him here.
He's in front of
that incident.
The incident. And he gets turned around on his own.
On his own, looked like. I'm not sure what happened there. Now he's going to make contact with the inside wall.
Now, I don't understand that at all. He was going straight.
It seemed like he was getting out of the gas. We would think that it was because of the caution or the lights had come on. 9 laps to go.
Timothy Peters has got back on the inside.
That's Almirola, right side of your screen.
Oh, Taylor Molson gets sideways. He's into the outside wall. That'll bring a caution out once again. Molson was running in 3rd, and now he gets spun around and into the outside wall. What an unbelievable finish.
Watch it go right here.
It's down. Yep,
boom.
There it goes.
Down.
Great job by the oncoming traffic.
Look at all these trucks here, and they're all going to miss him.
Brian Scott's
been in the middle of every wreck they've had tonight.
Has had his hands full. Well, once again, Ron Hornaday in front of this field as we take another look at the incident with Taylor Molson.
Yeah, Taylor had just lost the 3rd spot to Mike Skinner, so he was running in 4th when that contact took place.
No lap. White flag goes in the air. Hornaday just in front of Skinner.
Remember, both of these drivers have won here at Kentucky Speedway.
This could be the first repeat winner at Kentucky Speedway. Will Ron Hornaday be able to do it, or will Skinner be able to get him? Down the backstretch they go.
He gets a good run off that 2nd turn.
Here comes Skinner all over the back bumper of Hornaday as they go into turn 3.
Skinner goes to the high side again.
Keeping the momentum up. Skinner in the gas. Hornaday coming out of turn number 4. Hornaday stays in front of Skinner. Hornaday will win again in Kentucky.
Colin Brown sat on the pole last year for the nationwide race and finished 2nd.
Got a crash on the front straightaway. TJ Bell's around.
TJ Bell in the 11, slow and stopped on the front stretch. The caution comes out for the 3rd time as trucks split him on either side.
He was able to stay on the lead lap. He was running in the
at what took place with TJ Bell sideways there coming out of turn 4. Stalled just a bit.
It's pretty difficult to spin right where he did and not hit anything. TJ did a nice job keeping that thing out of the wall.
TJ will need another set of tires, as I'm sure he's flat spotted.
He's had some adversity tonight, but the rookie has really done a great job of battling back.
Colin Brown got to the outside of the 30. The 30 was coming up the racetrack, and that is why they got turned around. Todd Bodine into the wall and then slid across the front stretch. That brings out our 4th caution of the night.
Colin Brown had been working the outside of Todd Bodine and working him. Problem there. Check it out. This is after it's already happened. But Colin just was on the outside of Todd, and you're just not going to back out at that point.
Right along with Colin Brown.
He's going to get to the outside. Now watch, he's going to get that nose up outside of Todd's truck right there. Boy, he wasn't up there very far, Michael.
But you can't do that, Phil. With 20-some laps to go in a race, you're not going to be able to get away with that. I mean, you can try. You can bet that the guy will let you in, but he had his nose on the outside, and he just wasn't going to come out of the gas.
In Skinner and Hornaday, and he should feel comfortable in this situation. The reason why, the truck he's driving tonight, the same one Travis Quapple took the victory lane in Memphis 2 years ago, and now trouble on the track.
Ricky Carmichael
into the wall.
Sure enough, into the wall. That will bring her caution out one more time. Mike Skinner was on the inside of the 6, about to take the position.
For him to get up there, there's Ricky Carmichael into the outside wall, bringing out the caution.
5th caution of the night. Now it sets up for a great restart. Hornaday, Colin Brown, and Mike Skinner.
Flagman to give him the white flag, but they pulled it back.
We saw him throw the white flag, and now they're going to throw it one more time. This is it. Final lap at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Ron Hornaday in front of Mike Skinner. Here comes Eric Almirola on the inside of the 8 of Dennis Setzer. Can Hornaday do it? Can he make history? And can Skinner be the spoiler? 1 turn remaining.
Norm Benning can be a bit of a pick for Hornaday, but he's not even going to need that, I don't think, Phil.
To the outside, Hornaday will set a record, 4 in a row in the Cup. The restarts, that's for sure.
NASCAR has all that pretty well hemmed in.
Yeah, well, I don't mean he has an illegal transmission, but he might know something about.
Oh, problems on the racetrack. The 44's around into Mario Goslin, and so that's the 44 of Tommy Joe Martins. Got turned around and into the 12 of Mario Goslin, bringing out our third caution of the day. Didn't mean to startle you there, DW.
I'll tell you, that took my breath away.
Blake Feast got a piece of that in the 15 truck.
Those guys got all tied up in Mario Goslin.
Take a look back.
3 wide.
Yeah, there's the 44 and the 15.
Oh,
the
no.
44 just actually tried to stay in the middle of the racetrack,
Yeah,
and they made contact with the 15, and then Mario came along with absolutely nowhere to go.
That could have been a deal where the 44, like Darrell said earlier, he got down to the corner. He didn't have good aero because he was beside a truck, and he just couldn't turn left. He wanted to turn left, but he couldn't, and he wound up getting into the side of the 15.
And poor old Mario, he's coming down the back. He's passing trucks left and right, thinking, man, am I in the right line?
Just got an Aaron's lucky dog.
You're back on the lead lap, back in good contention for a good finish.
Tommy Joe just got loose getting in the corner, or just misjudged that corner. Maybe got in too deep. He just needed to be down a lot lower than he was when he got there, Phil.
Yeah. Baker curb on the back there. It's getting out of fuel. It's about to blow out a tire, or the engine's about ready to quit. Why is it?
There's
Terry
problems
Cook
on the racetrack. Terry Cook.
Oh, that'll bring out the
he
caution.
has problems up into the wall. The caution comes out.
Does he come to pit road and put tires on and run 2 laps?
Yeah, there's the right rear tire goes down. Terry just riding along there, right on the bottom of the racetrack, and the right rear goes down and into the outside wall he goes. He was completely by himself, but nothing you can do when you lose a rear tire.
Now, we're positive that the fuel's not an issue. Action as he heads off into turn 1. This is where I thought Scott might have a shot. He's been real strong off of 2 over there.
Looks like he lost the front a little bit.
Yeah, he pushed. He pushed.
We only have one attempt at a green-white checker finish. As soon as Hornaday gets the white flag, or if a caution would come out now, they are in the positions they would finish. Hornaday coming out of turn 4. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go for history in Hornaday.
This is big, folks. This has never happened before. You love seeing something. You love seeing athletes accomplish things that no one else has ever done, and that's what's fixing to happen with this 33 truck. Didn't go another mile.
And for Rick Wren, too, all-time winner in the Truck Series is a crew chief if they can hold it off another corner.
They continue to battle for third. Colin Brown on the inside, Timothy Peters on the outside. But the real history is being made. Ron Hornaday will win 5 races in the row in the Camping World Truck Series.
You know, I'm glad I was here tonight to see that, guys. That's a big piece of history right there.
First time in NASCAR since
81-30.
These 2 trucks were racing just ahead of our leaders, Phil. You called it during the break. You said, I bet we don't make it back to the broadcast before there's a crash. See, Tom Bodine gets sideways and runs into Taylor Mossam, wrecking both of those trucks.
Yeah, just got a little bit loose and had to chase his truck up the hill. Made contact with Taylor. Tough break for both these 2 trucks.
As far as race strategy goes, we've completed 37 laps now.
And Adam, let's go back and talk about the 33 of Ron Hornaday. You know, in the last 4 races that we've run here at Bristol, the 17 in trouble too, guys. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, caution coming out. Looks like the right front may have gone down on Timothy Peters. We saw some sparks as he was trying to keep it off the wall. Norm Benning also with issues in the 57. He slows on the racetrack. So our 5th caution of the night has come out. This may have given
the right front go away. Phil, he felt it. He didn't barrel it down in that corner. He knew he had something wrong. When we got there, the tire was flat. And at the same time, his teammate, TJ Bell, was getting beat around like a ping pong ball. So he was glad to have a break, I bet.
Yeah, Timothy did a nice job there. Had he gone in that corner, there's Norm Benning. That's what brought out our caution flag. Norm got into the wall coming off turn number 4. But had Timothy gone in that corner as hard as he could have, then more than likely he would have made contact with the wall. Here's Rick Crawford's on board. Watch Timothy, the 17 truck there. See him go way high. The 13 of Johnny Sauter got by him.
He caught a break because while he was having his trouble with a flat tire trying to get to pit road, Norm Benning loses his truck off turn 4. The caution
on the racetrack and close everything up for a shootout.
Now as Kyle Busch takes the white flag, 1 lap remaining at Bristol to make it 2 wins in a row at this race facility.
Just a textbook performance for that team tonight. He was fast. They hit their pit strategy head on perfect, and now he drops off turn 4 and takes the checkered flag at Bristol.
Kyle Busch, the spoiler for Ron Hornaday at Bristol Motor Speedway, but Kyle Busch gets back to victory lane in NASCAR.
Would it have been? That's a pretty gutsy move to do that right at the start.
Oh, spinner. Problems back in the back, the 92.
Stays out of harm's way. Stays off the racetrack. Caution flag is out.
So John Jackson gets turned around. That will bring the caution flag out on lap.
A little help there. He's already sideways. Probably got run into from behind a little bit. Does a nice job getting that truck down off the racetrack, though.
Well, and here it is. Like I say, these guys have had a lot of track time, but not in these nighttime conditions. And there just might have been a little bit of mistake there that caused that little bit of incident.
And he's also staying in the top 10, which I think is very impressive for his first ever start.
He's going to get loose down there, and around he goes.
Talk about him. Sideways goes Austin Dillon. Keep it off the wall, Austin. He does, and that brings out our 4th caution.
That's what we talk about all the time. And when these trucks get side by side, when they lose that downforce, Johnny, it's very, very hard to keep control of them, especially when he's borderline loose anyway.
He was already loose, and in the minute that he got a little bit closer to that truck, it kind of just pulled him around. While running, you know, he's running for 8th right there, and it's just, you know, unfortunate, but he learned a bunch right there. He did not wreck the truck, got a caution, and he'll get a new set of good years.
Look. See right on the inside of Timothy Peters. Again, he's already been loose. There's some bumps down there. They upset the truck a little bit. He gets sideways. He keeps the truck off of Timothy. Eric Almirola does a great job avoiding him, and he just slides up to the outside wall. No harm, no foul.
Now, he does a great job here because a lot of rookies probably would have turned that in and took them both out. So by just spinning it and just coming to a stop was the right thing, and a great call for him. I mean, he was definitely loose.
Battle for the 8th position as this took place.
Timothy did a nice job too, because there was a little bit of contact and he got pretty much out of shape
at this point in time. So it may change maybe a little bit of strategy.
Oh, contact.
Little contact there, Stacy Compton. We see the 24. David Starr up into the wall. Caution comes out once again.
And this caution flag right here will come out when most of these guys are in their window. We've completed 109 laps, so I think everyone will
plays off. Now Austin Dillon has definitely just learned something else right now too. Is a little bit of contact and sure ruin a couple guys' days.
Yeah, David Starr made some pretty good contact with the outside wall. I don't think Stacy made any contact other than with the 24 truck. Let's take another look at it. This is a situation where Stacy's going to run a little bit high. David thinks he's going down to the bottom, and they just ran out of racetrack. Rick Crawford does a nice job avoiding Stacy Compton.
Again, Austin Dillon was right behind that 60 and was able to avoid as we take another look at it.
Yeah, that was just tight racing. It looked like the 24 wanted to come down to that line, maybe thinking the 60 was going to go a little bit lower than that. But that's right where the dip. That's right where the dip of the track is, and right there is right where that seam is. And I think they both wanted to just be on that seam.
Yeah, David was not below the white line there. Just the situation where Stacy was going to use.
He was 19th, 20th a little bit ago. It's all the way up to 14th, so he's got a good race truck. He's just got to be a little bit more patient than
problems right on the front stretch. The 30 of Todd Bodine, the 23 of Jason White. They get turned around. The caution comes out once again.
Todd was able to say side by side, just a simultaneous spin there. Jason on the inside got a little bit loose, lost the air off that spoiler.
Yeah, he definitely got loose and gathered Todd up. And as close as they were to the wall, they're lucky they didn't get that. And as Todd goes definitely down through the grass, it'll fill it up. But as you can see, it started actually down on the bottom of the racetrack, and they both just kind of slid up and just used as much of it as they had down through the grass. It didn't look like they did any damage, but Todd is definitely going to come in. He's going to have to wipe the grill off with all the grass that's probably full of it.
There's another view, but again, simultaneously spinning. I'm not sure they ever touched.
Well, I'm sure they probably just barely, but when you got a truck that way spinning, it definitely will help you along.
They wiped off anything that was on that splitter.
Like there's going to be a problem for Mike.
White flag in the air. Skinner crosses the start-finish line. Eric Almirola second. Colin Brown is third. Final lap. Can Skinner hold on? Does he have enough fuel?
I think if he can get to turn 3, I think he's going to be okay.
Into turn 3. He's got a huge lead over second. Mike Skinner coming out of turn number 4. He will win the first ever race at Iowa Speedway.
Great side-by-side battle for third. Colin Brown holds off the 33 of Hornaday.
It's the 7th time that Mike Skinner.
Brian Scott, remember, this is the second time he gets up against the wall. Stacy Compton not able to use all the throttle because Brian's out there, and that opened the door for Todd to move by on the inside, make a 3-wide pass.
Cautions are concerned to make the distance. Rick Crawford, but you won't hear him complain. He's having a very solid run in the top 5, and we have trouble on the racetrack. Stacy Compton around.
Sideways is Stacy Compton. Ricky Carmichael misses him. The caution flag flies. That was just a situation where he was on the outside line.
Well, Brian Scott helped him get to the outside line is what happened.
He clears. I mean, this is a huge run. Well, when you do this run, you're not coming in at a very good angle.
A bad angle, and he gets in there. He obviously chases it up the hill. There's the contact. He gets Stacy sideways. Stacy almost saves it. Watch Ricky Carmichael now. He's headed straight for his door.
Locked him up. The other thing that set that up is this 3-wide here. Brian Scott was down way low on the racetrack, and so when he got into turn 3, he was almost chasing it up the track immediately.
Well, he had no choice.
Yeah.
There's no physical way he could have turned the wheel enough.
And just real fortunate. He's got a little damage there in the lower splitter there, which probably is not going to help him. But man, he is taking his.
Oh, problems behind him. Into the wall goes the 4.
Terry Cook's going to hit the inside wall.
Inside wall. Those two pinched together. There was a truck in the middle of that.
Yeah, it wasn't Terry Cook and Ricky Carmichael that got together initially.
7.
You got 3 wide right there. Just gets tight. The 25 and the 29 actually make contact initially, and then Terry gets into the 4 of Ricky Carmichael.
It looked like it's one of those cases where the 25 did not know he might have been 3 wide there. The 29 still had his nose in there. He just moved up, and as he moved up, he got pinched and turned his truck all the way into the 4. Heavy impact to the inside wall there, which would probably that reason. I think he was doing it for earlier when he didn't. The 33 may have not.
Oh, there's contact. The 6 goes around. The 88 was on the outside. The 6 got into him, and the 6 goes around of Colin Brown.
Well, we see that all the time. The truck on the inside loses the air off that rear spoiler. Those guys were really battling hard. Colin makes some contact with the outside wall. You see the tire. Watch Colin. He's going to have to chase the truck up the hill. He wiggled and had moved up. He tried to stay off of Matt Crafton. Matt does a nice job, and Colin just couldn't keep control of that truck.
How about Mike Skinner also being able to check up and not get into
There's another
the
view.
6.
You see the contact right there. Then around goes Colin. Mike does a nice job avoiding that Conway Ford.
I think this is a case where he starts to slide up. He knows if he hit the 88 any harder, he was going to spin him. So, I mean, he was doing everything he could to stay off him. Unfortunately, it cost him in the long run.
Yeah, part of that is self-preservation. You don't want to hit that truck and take both of you out, and you hope that you can save
Just
that
save
thing.
It, yeah.
Did Matt Crafton say anything, Adam, on the radio after that contact? Darts, one of the best, is bringing him to the green flag. Ron Hornaday, 8 laps to go.
And he had at least 2 truck links when he got to the start-finish line. Oh, Todd gets turned.
Todd slides to the inside. Will he slide back up in the groove? Yes, and more contact. Rick Crawford is involved. Colin Brown is involved.
That was just a huge misfortune there. I mean, Todd looked like he saw the 33 coming, tried to block him, and the 33 says, you know, I've had enough of that today. I'm sorry, the 88. And Matt just, you know what, he just said, I had enough.
Look at the damage to that Ventrilo Toyota. Good start. Crafton's going to dive to the inside. Todd moves over to try to take that spot, and they just make contact there. Todd was hoping Crafton would give him a little bit more room. He didn't do it. Then when he comes back up the racetrack, Colin Brown, Rick Crawford trying to get by on the outside. They knew he was coming. They were trying to get by before he got there.
Yes, that's all it was. I mean, Todd saw him coming. He got there, and then but he kept pressing the issue, kept trying to move down, and it just made for a bad deal. I mean, if Todd would have spun, went down there, had the grass not have been there, maybe wouldn't have come up in front of the track. So it did definitely get a bunch more trucks besides just him.
Unfortunate for Todd Bodine, but the situation now is we have the 88 will be right on the back bumper of the 33 for the restart.
And we know he wasn't happy with the 33 about something that happened earlier. We know he doesn't have any more motor. They have the exact same engine builder. Pro Motor builds the engines for both those trucks, as we watch. As a matter of fact, Johnny Sauter in third has the exact same engine as well.
Yes, Mike Skinner made the move to the outside of that 13, trying to take the pass. Here's what Todd Bodine felt like and what it looked like when we were riding along with that 30.
What a great restart. Look at Ron Hornaday. He already has 2 truck links. Now Todd sees the 88 coming. know, he gets turned way before they ever get to the corner.
It was way before, but he had him run down pretty low too. I mean, it was just, it's an unfortunate thing that happened is all it is to it.
There's Matt. Let's ride with it.
He gets a good start. He's going to pull to the inside. You can see, obviously, Matt did not go up.
No, and he got
never
out of
went
the
up.
gas, too.
Yep.
This is coming right at you.
Well, that's a helpless feeling, though, when you're tied and you get turned around like that. And there's nothing he could do to keep that truck from sliding back up on the racetrack.
No, but once he's turned, you're just pretty much.
The green flag will go in the air. We're back underway. 4 to go from Gateway.
Crafton's all over him. He's got a run, a little bit of a run. He moves to the inside. There's the contact.
Contact again. Crafton gets into the back of the 33, and Hornaday spins around. Oh, and big contact behind him. That's the 07 that gets into the 33. Jason Young driving that 07. What a difficult situation this has got to be for the 33 team. Ron Hornaday sitting in his truck. Rick Wren on top of the pit box. I'm sure worried about his driver right now. Look at the back into that.
To the inside, they got down to the corner. I tell you, that really looked a lot different on replay from what the other situation was with Todd and Matt Crafton.
It was. This was a different situation.
They were really all the way to the corner.
Here's a better view. I meant Ron's trying to block him. There's no doubt. But the 88, he's not quite there. But he went as low as he could.
Yeah, Ron was almost down to the curbing on the inside of the racetrack. So it was a lot later. You see Jason Young come along with nowhere to go. And then Mikey Kyle makes contact with the 07. But really unfortunate. Here's another view right here. Watch. They're already down to the corner there. Matt just had his nose up beside the left rear quarter panel, not even to the rear tires. So it had a lot different look than what Todd and Matt's deal looked like.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I mean, he's got to run. I don't know if this was going to be a passable deal. That's not that view right there, it's not a passable deal.
But from listening to that 88 truck, I don't think that was intentional. I think he got in the corner maybe a little bit hot, but I swear I don't think that was a deal where I'm going to go take him out when we get down to the corner.
Mike Skinner, green flag back in the air, 2 to go from Gateway.
Look at Matt Crafton is passing trucks before he gets to the start-finish line.
We've seen it before. Johnny Sauter looked to the inside of Skinner. This time, the leader doesn't go around. Skinner trying to hold him off as they come out of 2.
I think the 13 had a good enough time to be there, and he thought, you know what, I just saw this happen. I'm not going to be part of this.
I've seen this movie.
Yes, and it looks like they're both doing a great job. And, right now I got to give the upper hand to the 5.
The 5. Throwing it into turn 3 a little bit harder than that 13. Let's see if the momentum on the 13 can do anything as they come back for the white flag. A great battle behind those two for that 4th spot. Crafton trying to battle back as well as he tries to get the best finish he can on the outside of Stacy Compton. Out in front, though, the 5 of Mike Skinner now has 2 truck links between himself and Johnny Sauter. Can Skinner make it back-to-back wins in the 2009 season? As he comes out of turn number 4, Mike Skinner is going to win at Gateway International Raceway.
Look at 3 wide back there for position.
Obviously, he will be in the field, doesn't have to set any type of a blistering pace. And here's the problems that he had coming out of 2.
Just a little bit wide, and they had to jerk the thing away from the wall, and Lost Control did a nice job of keeping that truck out of the inside wall.
Kind of the skirting on the inside of that truck went away when he got into the grass.
It happens real quick, doesn't it, Phil?
Sure
I bet you old Chris thought, I've got this corner made. I'm pretty much straight now. Whoa.
And that's one thing about this racetrack is you can get loose when you are 99% straight. You can still buzz the tires loose like Chris did just there.
With that, the 41 truck makes its way into the...
They make a little contact getting down in turn number 1.
That's an aggressive move by Brian Scott. Anytime you lay your... Look at there.
Amazing that the rear wheel stayed on the ground there as he kind of climbed up over the hood of the 10 when he went out of the turn.
That was aggressive. He dove down in the corner, laying right up against the others.
Why we're under caution, the 71 of Rob Fuller.
See, just on the outside of the 51 of Kyle Busch and just lost control, lost the right rear corner. Roundy went and made some pretty significant contact with that Draco Chevrolet.
You can see how hard he hit that outside wall, but man, those safety barriers. Watch Rob here.
This is what Ron saw.
I'm loose, I'm loose.
Yeah.
He just couldn't pull her down to the bottom of the racetrack. The thing was a little bit loose on entry, and so when he turned down in there, it just went away. Adam, what's going on?
And everyone going to come back here for fuel. The 88 of Max.
Kyle Busch looking to make it 3 in a row in the Truck Series.
Hybrid or not. So a great battle for fifth. Stacy Compton, what a good run in that Melling Toyota.
What a cool day it is for Stacy Compton. Good to see him up in the top 5. Great stories all throughout the top 10. Johnny Sauter gets a hold to the left rear of Compton. Can he make the pass?
Well, it may not be done yet.
That's for a top 5 spot. Johnny Sauter takes the position away from Stacy Compton. Coming out of turn number 4, Kyle Busch is going to make it 3 in a row in the Camping World Truck Series. He wins the hell of a good 200.
He wins a hell of a good 200. That was a great 200.
The hell of a good 200.
He sure did.
Great run, though. Johnny Sauter battled back after running out of fuel for a top 5 finish.
Racetrack.
I don't think you're going to see any of these front guys lifting. What's hurting them is these guys further back that are running side by side. They lose a little bit of that momentum.
No problems. Taylor Balsam sideways on the racetrack as he works his way through 4. Field slows, and it looks like it's going to be a 1-truck incident.
Boy, it looked like Ryan Sieg did a nice job. He was right behind Taylor Balsam. Looked like he avoided getting into him. May have flat spotted the tires of your screen. That's the 81 of Taylor Malsom. He's right behind David Starr in the 24. And the back end just gets out from under him. Around it goes. But watch Ryan Sieg, a little contact with Brian Eichler and the 16 of Brian Scott on the inside.
I think as a whole, as a whole there, everybody did an excellent job. There could have been 3 or 4 trucks there. Taylor just looks like he got in there. He got loose, probably did surprise him. And just, you know, real fortunate. All 3 of those guys up there on the top side could have been a lot worse than what it was right there.
Taylor Malsom sideways.
Heavy traffic. You see the trucks going almost 3 wide underneath him to get by.
Everybody slows down again. Well, sometimes they're helped. This time, no help. Taylor Malsom just gets turned around is another view of it.
And one of the other keys, though, is too, they practice all day long in 100+ heat. And these guys know that, you know what, we need to be loose for tonight. The track might have some bite in the track, and obviously they probably went just a little too far on theirs.
This is Skinner, again, down on the bottom. Boy, that thing just, you can't even tell.
Just goes, and as a driver, I mean, he may have felt a little bit loose, but that thing got out from under him pretty quick, didn't it, John?
That come out real fast. At the point that you just watch the left front, he didn't even feel like it was coming. You didn't see any wiggle there, or just all of a sudden slid right around.
And we mentioned that they're going to stay, obviously.
Catching that truck up against the wall.
Problems in turn number 4 has brought out our second caution. It's the 15 of Brian Eichler.
See the AKawareness.com on board that truck. AK.
Take a look at what happened with the 15. Sideways up top again.
Looked like he was just a little bit loose. Terry Cook looked like he did a wonderful job avoiding that 15 truck when he came down off the racetrack. You see just a little bit of minor damage to the back end of that Toyota. It's time to get sideways. Ooh, he got loose on the bottom, slid up the racetrack, had to avoid the 16 of Brian Scott, but what a terrific job controlling that truck.
That was an awesome job.
There he is, just about. Oh, problems on the racetrack once again. This time it's Ricky Carmichael that gets into the wall. Our third caution of the day, and it's Carmichael that makes contact with the outside wall. A lot of damage to the right rear of that truck.
We just saw Ricky racing with Todd back. Obviously, with the damage he has, it's not going to happen. You see him on the inside. He gets loose, has to chase it up the hill. Max Pappas also spins. But Ricky makes some contact with the outside wall. But that's the case you were talking about, Rick, when we see a lot of trucks spin on 1.5 mile racetracks. You get on the inside, you lose that air off the spoiler. And remember, these guys may not be wide open, but they're awfully close to it, Johnny.
Well, they are, and that's one of the things that Ricky is learning, is what you can and can't get away with when you do get close. You can see right there, the back starts to pull around. There's no side force on a truck. And, you know, it could have been a lot worse than that. You know, he hits the wall, yeah, it does some pretty good damage, but nobody else was involved. Nobody hits him, and the 9 looked like he got away without hitting anything.
Take a view from the Lumber Liquidators on board. Watch Ricky now. He's going to be very, very close to the 9. He's right beside him, loses that air off the spoiler, and that thing snaps around. Chad McCumbee does a a nice job with that Garmin Chevrolet avoiding Ricky Carmichael.
Pulls away, put Johnny Sauter back on the point.
So as everybody cycles through green flag pit stops, Johnny Sauter back out on the racetrack, your race leader, and into the wall is the 16 of Brian Scott. A lot of damage to the right side of that truck, and the caution has come out once again. It is.
There's Brian Scott. I don't know if he maybe cut something down. He was up high. That may be because he had a soft tire, Johnny.
It is. You know, these guys have been out on these tires for quite a long time, so it's a gamble right now. NASCAR.
1 to go for Johnny Sauter. White flag in the air. 1.5 miles remains between he and his first win in the Camping World Truck Series.
He's got over a 2-second lead over his teammate right now. He just has to make sure he has enough fuel to get to the end.
Down the Nellis straightaway he goes. Half a lap between Johnny Sauter and that first win. A flawless 3 and 4. He comes out to the grandstand, so fans on their feet. Johnny Sauter will win at Las Vegas.
It definitely was. He's got damage. And then another thing, Phil, it looks like with where he got into the grass, maybe he got on the brakes and it rear wheel hopped. The thing tried to come around and he wound up down there.
A bunch of car trailers lined up, you know, just open trailers lined up along the inside.
And flowers. Weren't there flowers
right
there?
That's exactly what it looked like right there. You can see he makes some contact with the inside wall. But right about the time he was going to get on the brakes, more than likely had too much rear brake.
And that thing will jump so fast. We saw Sam Hornish do the same thing in cup practice earlier today. I was following along behind Sam, and if those back tires get to jumping, when you get on the brakes too hard, you get them skipping, it'll spin around so fast you won't understand what happened. And looks, I mean, Wheeler said, well, darn, guys, I was on the straightaway and I just had a crash. That's how easy that can happen.
Let's take a look at our sprint now moment.
The start-finish line, he gets on the brakes and just around it goes.
So some cosmetic damage. They're working on that truck right now.
There's another view.
His dad, Trevor, boys, competitor in the NASCAR Cup Series when I started.
Yeah, back in the 80s, back in the mid-80s, yeah.
Drove for James Hilton.
Sure did.
Had a big Canadian leaf, maple leaf on his.
Our leader, Ron Hornaday, at lap 14, he came on the radio and said, guys, I'm really, really loose in and loose through the center.
Oh,
so he made an
on the
adjustment.
track, right?
Oh, I see 07 has crashed.
Burt Myers in the 07 into the wall. A lot of damage to the back of that race truck.
Tough break for Burt. That was my spotlight. A little damage to the left rear corner. You see the white and Winstead foundation on the quarter panel.
Oh, while we're under our first caution, the 07 gets spun around and into the wall.
And no contact from behind. James Busher, the tip truck, was right behind him, but no contact there.
They were awful close.
So they did work on the left side of that truck. Now they're. Nobody ever counts Ron Hornaday out of a race if
we got
there's
a
still
spin at
fenders
turn 4.
on the truck. A big turn around in turns 3 and 4. The 9 of Max Pappas gets turned around. The 07 as well of Burt Myers, and the caution flag will fly. We saw the 87 of Chris Jones also up against the wall.
There's our Aaron's Lucky.
Why this most recent caution has come out.
There's Max Pappas on the inside. Ooh, he runs over the curb, makes some contact with Burt Myers. I said Burt was going to get the lucky dog. He was in position to get it, but when he gets turned around like that, that's not going to happen.
Stacey Compton slammed on the brakes. How about Denny Hamlin on pit road right?
Check this out. He hits it pretty good.
Here comes Timothy Peters, our leader. There's Todd, and there's Ron bouncing off the wall. And see how close Skinner is to him right there. But now Skinner's about second half behind.
Look at the ground he loses to Todd Bodine. And here comes Skinner looking at the bottom. Ron blocks him off and has been able to drive away from Skinner. So going to dive on the inside of Mark Davis. Mark gives him a lot of room.
Caution has come out. This is the 8th one of the day. They say a caution has come out in turn number 2. A truck got turned around. And so the field slowed in turn 2. Take a look.
See Chris Fontana and the 07 get together. Mike's just trying to get by the 07 of Burt Myers on the inside, and that's where all the contact came from and the damage on Mike Skinner's truck.
Skinner was running in from his first win in the Truck Series. Timothy Peters makes it through 1 and 2. He has a 1.7 second lead over Todd Bodine. Does he have enough fuel to get through 3 and 4? Rolling through the corner, coming out, turn number 4, checkered flags in the air. Timothy Peters will win at Martinsville.
Let's turn him sideways.
Right to stay in line. Amazingly enough, the sun out here at Talladega. Terry Cook in front of the 88 of Memphis. Problems. Colin Brown gets sideways into the infield. It looks like Taylor Molsom's going to make contact with the inside wall.
That's that bump drafting gone awry there, I have to believe.
No doubt.
Unfortunately, Taylor's going to be the one that's going to really pay the price.
Colin Brown, I don't think, got any damage out of that. Just got turned around sideways. Did you see Matt Crafton driving the heck out of that truck down there in the middle of the turn?
His hands were going all over the place.
Let's take another look. Goodyear giving us a shot here of what just took place. A big hit from the 6 on the 5, and then he checked up, and right behind him was Chad McCumbee.
And then Ricky Carmichael gets in the back of Taylor Molsom. Nothing Ricky can do at that point. You can't see through these trucks. Ricky had no idea what all was going on in front of him, and got in the back of Taylor.
Just a chain reaction deal. You see the pack seize up.
See everything happening up there. Ricky Carmichael has no idea all this is going on.
Again, contact made between the 6 and the 07. Chad McCumbee may have some front end damage, at least cosmetic damage to the front of that truck as he got into the back of the 6.
Pit road is not open yet. This will be, we're in the window now. This will be the last round of pit stops.
Brown's led 26 laps. Skinner's led 9.
And don't forget about Matt Crafton, who was in front of this pack. He wasn't your leader. He was on the tail end of the lead lap. But
problems! Mario Goslin turns around. Can he keep it down low? Try to stay out of the line of traffic. He does an excellent job. Stays to the bottom of the racetrack until they cross the start-finish line. The field goes by. The MyTireMonkey.com truck now headed the right direction once again, and the caution comes out for the 5th time. Behind him, that's Max Pappas.
Max is like right there. He's appearing to look like a dart with no feathers. He was just buffeting all over the place, and with him not having his truck straight and then trying to bump draft on top of that, it just was disaster for Mario Goslin. Fortunately, like you guys said, Mario was good enough to keep that thing from returning back up in the middle of traffic. Great job by Mario.
But watch that 9 truck. He was on the inside, on the outside, back and forth, and then unfortunately Mario was the one that paid the price.
You got to make sure you're going straight when you bump draft a guy, and even so then, Rick, you don't want to be bump drafted in the tri-oval because you're not going straight. Watch all the moves made here by Max. Outside, inside. Oh, I'm going to hit you. And now he continues to do the same thing. Got Mario weaving around and spun him out.
So around goes Mario Goslin. The Aaron's Lucky Dog is going to go once again to the 0-2 of Steve Park. This is real time. This is the way it happens. Take a look at that 9 truck.
You can look at Mario steering there, trying to keep that truck straight.
Listen to, he was hard on the gas too, wasn't he? He knew he didn't want to go back up in the middle of all that traffic.
Steering the entire time though. Great job by Mario.
That tire monkey probably helped.
You got the help. You got the help. Last lap said, let me know when there are 2 laps to go. That's obviously not the case right now. Still 4 remaining, but Bodine trying to make his move to the outside, and we have trouble on the back straightaway.
Problems for the 14 and the 5. Now they all bottle up behind them. The 16's into the wall. Hornaday, your championship leader, is into the wall. A lot of damage on the back stretch. Oh, and Max Pappas gets into the 5 of Mike Skinner as they're slowing down the back stretch.
Wow.
Johnny Sauter was trying to get back in line in the middle. There was some contact
chunk out of it. Now it's reasonable to think maybe you could catch him.
This is our problem.
Watch right of your screen. Johnny Sauter in the 13 gets into the quarter panel of Mike Skinner.
Look at Crafton slide by barely on the outside. Colin Brown barely through the hole.
Ooh, look at Rick Crawford's rear end lift up off the ground.
Ricky Carmichael takes a spin. A little bit of damage on that truck.
Timothy Peters involved.
Timothy Peters, our winner from last week, crashed this week.
So look at him coming straight at you down the backstretch.
It looked like the 30 of Todd Bodine and Skinner washed up to the high side, and they wanted to get back over there to the inside. And when Skinner went to the inside, what?
Max Pappas just running into the side of that 5 truck.
There's another, you can see right there, Johnny Sauter got bumped around. Then he got into the 5 of Mike Skinner. Mike got into the 14 of Rick Crawford. Chad McCumbee comes along, he's involved. Brian Scott, there's the 16 truck, the 33 of Hornaday. Looks like James Busher, very little damage. And then here comes Max along. Here's real time.
Most of these crashes happen on the straightaway, it seems, Phil.
And it's amazing. You wouldn't think that would happen, but it does.
People scrambling to try to get back in line. It looked like Skinner was trying to get over toward that bottom line. And Sauter was determined to stay in that hole.
Ron Horday's Copart Chevrolet right there, along with him.
In Johnny Sauter's defense, we're talking 2 or 3 laps to go. He backs off the gas right there. You know, obviously, watch.
See Skinner, he's on the outside. He was trying to pull back over in line behind Todd, and Johnny had tried to close that hole up, tried to take that hole from him.
Take another look. This is real time.
That's just, I mean, it's really difficult to assess exactly who to blame that on. I mean, Skinner was trying to pull over a little bit. Johnny was in there a little bit. They got together and it caused a big crash.
Stripe. Todd Bodine looking to make it 5 in a row on the super speedways.
Anything happens now, it's Todd Bodine's race. The caution flies, he wins.
Matt Cracken still has a bit of a run on the outside. He's even with the 51 of Kyle Busch.
And he has Colin Brown behind him, one of the stronger trucks today. Can that outside line move? Down the backstretch they go.
Look at them all moving around, all the bump drafting going on.
Todd Bodine, Kyle Busch, 1 and 2 down the backstretch. Here comes the 88 of Matt Crafton. A good push from the 6 of Colin Brown. He gets shuffled back. Todd Bodine goes up high. Now they're moving 2 and 3 wide out of turn 4. Todd Bodine hugging that yellow line as they come out of turn 4. Just the triangle to go. 4 wide through the triangle. Here comes Kyle Busch. He goes to the outside as they come to the stripe. Kyle Busch will win at Talladega.
Good job, dude. Good job.
What a move by Kyle Busch and his teammate Eric Almirola.
They picked Kyle Busch.
Well, we were in break. He was able to get by the zeros. Now problems on the backstretch. The 73 into the wall.
That's Ben Stansel.
Hard contact for that 73 truck. Once you get their tires, you can find yourself lapped in a hurry.
There's another view right there. See, Ben Stansel just gets a little bit loose up off of turn number 2. He had the 41 truck of Mark Mitchell behind him, make some pretty hard contact with the inside wall.
Man, that's a helpless feeling when that thing jumps out from underneath you like that. Ben, the other truck, I think, was a factor, Phil. Look how close he is. Just sucks that truck right around. And look at that.
Wow. I think the officials are going to have to take a look at that inside wall. It looked like it really, I think that's obviously a terrific, that it's a safer barrier there.
I think he might have hit just past the safer barrier, Phil. He might have got right into the concrete.
You see that ball move on the backside. And again, we saw the window net down right
to our point leader, Ron Hornaday. Now, you don't see Ron yet. Look at him get a little bit loose now. Ron's going to try to get up inside. Look how close that is. Barry does a great job staying off Ron. He just got a little bit behind in his steering, but did a nice job keeping that truck out of the wall.
He spun out right in Ron Hornaday's lap.
Field on pit.
That's when Kyle's going to get into the back of him. Then Ron pulls over. He drives in the corner very, very straight too. It was going to be very difficult to turn the truck, but it didn't look like he tried.
I don't think he had any intent of turning. I think he was going to run him up the hill. Oh, did you hear that?
You could hear the tires squeal.
And then just a couple laps after that, here's Taylor Malsum. He brushes the wall coming off of 4.
He runs out of room. TJ Bell squeezed him a little bit there. Didn't leave enough room on the outside.
He hit the 4. Tim Lopez, the flagman, grabs the white flag. It goes in the air. 1 lap of racing to go from Texas.
That's going to have to do something quick. Doesn't gain anything there. If he gains anything, it's minimal.
Kyle Busch has won at California, at Atlanta, and then the last 4 races he's been in: Bristol, Chicago, New Hampshire, and Talladega. Can he add Texas to the list and start off his weekend for the trifecta? Kyle Busch comes to the start-finish line. Kyle Busch wins in Texas.
Matt Crafton makes it to second. Let's see if Hornaday can stay in third.
There he is.
Flap sled. When you look at his numbers in the 3 divisions, this is absolutely his.
Contact.
And he's
Kevin
spinning up
Harvick
at turn
gets.
4.
He got into the inside of the 15, and Harvick spins around to bring out our first caution.
I think Kevin was having a problem. We were following him along from his.
Trying to get fired up.
Oil. How does Kyle Busch? Is he putting oil down on the track right now?
Watch. Harvick slides up in that. He thinks oil from Kyle Busch's truck. If that's the case, when's he going to come to pit road? What's up with the 51 truck?
Exactly. That might be a problem that Kyle Busch has got to attend to immediately. There he slides up the racetrack into the 15, but the 15 stays straight.
Kevin was down on the bottom of the racetrack right against the yellow line, then slid up in the middle of the corner and then got loose. There's another view. That's right after the initial contact with the 15.
We don't see any smoke from Kyle Busch's truck. What was that all about?
Watch, listen. Look at the racetrack. It's shiny right there. And right there is where Kevin was running. That's where he had his right side tires, right in that shiny part of the racetrack. Just from another live shot, we saw the 16 truck go way up high.
Yeah, you see there is oil on the track.
Look at Bliss and the 25 truck get really, really loose in the same exact area that Kevin slid up the racetrack.
Adam Alexander, what's going on?
Well, man, you have to understand how important this owner championship is.
It is.
Toyota wants that 51 truck of Billy Ballou to be standing there.
Problems on the racetrack. The 90 goes around.
There's Brad Sweet, the great Clips Toyota.
He was running along in the 23rd spot. He had just been lapped, which would have.
Up higher on the racetrack as they enter 3.
Whoa, that thing really got away from him in a hurry. He's lucky to keep it out of the outside wall.
That's really hard to do on a flat track like this. We did a nice job.
When you lose one on entry, it wants to get up in that outside wall. So Brad, despite the fact that he's making his first start, he made some solid decisions there with what to do once he lost his track.
There's another view. You see him all right now. You see the black marks, but he's going to stay in the throttle. Watch those rear wheels spinning forward. That's going to keep that truck from backing up to the outside wall, Adam.
NASCAR's championship chase heads to Phoenix, and everyone is revved up for the Ultimate Friday Night House Party. Don't miss NASCAR trackside. Ryan Newman, David Rudiman are the guests. That's coming up next. NASCAR on speed. Be there. And into the wall, Kevin Conway. He extends number 71. That brings out the caution once again.
I was just involved. There's the 80. I said, remember, the 71 was right in front of the 88. Looked like Kevin got a little bit loose, maybe up off of 2, and the 88 had a little bit of a head of steam going and running to the back of him, just a little bit, enough to get Kevin out of shape into the outside wall.
You see him making contact with the back of that truck, hard contact into the outside wall. That'll end Kevin's night, obviously, and you're right. He was running very competitively. Sideways, you heard Crafton let off. The 71 truck got sideways, Matt let off, but still ran into him, and when he hit him, it knocked him into the outside wall. So that first checker might be fun for us to see, though.
I don't think he would want to see a green and white checker.
Kevin Harvick started on the outside of row number 1, looking to make it his 5th win in the Camping World Truck Series in his 100th start. You see the VFW 33 go by. Problems with James Buescher into the wall. Buescher will bring out the caution once again. The 6th caution of the night. The 6th. Let's look again at what happened to the 10.
That's his teammate, Rick Crawford, getting by the 11 of T.J. Bell. Now James comes along there. He just gets a little bit loose down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Shot it in there really hard. He saw that hole open. We're getting down to 5 to go. He knew he needed to grab that spot, but unfortunately couldn't keep his truck under control. Got sideways down on the bottom of T.J. Bell. See, T.J. comes down the hill just a little bit.
And James was on the apron of the racetrack, and his car actually slid up off the apron. He was still on the very bottom of the racetrack. Just didn't have a lot of room down there.
I mean, as a race car driver, you know, as soon as you let off the gas, you think, oh no, this is going to be close. Is this going to be tough? Can I stay off him? And you know, the accident probably happens 2 or 3 seconds before you actually hit.
One attempt at a green-white checker finish. Green flag back in the air. Harvick, Busch, 1 and 2. Eric Almirola running 3rd.
Looks like Harvick was clean on the restart. Got through the gears well, got into 1 good.
A great restart for Kevin Harvick. Can he hold on and grab his 5th win in the Camping World Truck Series, 4th at this racetrack?
You know, he's got a guy behind him that will do all he can do to try to wrestle that lead away.
Has a good corner there, but Harvick's truck just right down on the bottom. Kyle slides around the top. Does gain a little ground off 4, though. Can he get to him?
White flag in the air. 1 mile to go from Phoenix. Problem on the racetrack. Taylor Malsom gets turned around. That will give the win to Kevin Harvick. Harvick wins at Phoenix once again.
And Ron Hornaday
does a really nice job, though. It gets away from him, but does a nice job of cranking that thing to the right, holding that gas wide open and keeping it out of that outside wall. He can race that truck, and that's a good accomplishment.
Put him some tires on there and race it, but he did a nice job here. Normally you would see those trucks back into the outside wall, but by virtue of the fact that he stayed in the throttle, kept the forward rotation going on the rear tires, he kept that thing from back on the fence.
You know something you don't.
I can only talk about him. I can't talk to him.
Do you want me to talk to him for you?
Maybe tell him we said good luck. Tell him we said good luck.
Maybe Monday you could talk to him for me.
I'll give him a call.
Oh, he's gonna spin out. No, get away from that wall. What a shame. He had such a solid first lap.
Trying to get just a little bit more out of it.
Get the backup.
Get the backup.
Monster energy drink on the side of that truck. Rear end's tore up pretty bad.
See if we can fix it. That's a lot.
Trust me, when you back into wall at 175, 80 mile an hour, like this right here, watch it fold up all the way to the rear of the back window up there.
We talk about front clips, rear clips. I mean, that's a situation where the whole rear end could be off now.
Yeah, I mean, you could pound it out. You know, you got time to pound it out and get it back, you know, get it lined up a little bit, but it's still not going to be right. So if they've got a backup, I'd go to it.
You know, look at the damage on the back of that truck, and he did not make significant contact with the outside wall, but there's really Harvick and Busch are within a half a tenth of each other.
Yeah, and one lap, one guy's faster, and the other
Caution on the
guy's
racetrack.
faster.
The 73 into the wall. That's Lance Hooper. We saw him have problems earlier, and now into the wall he goes to bring out our third caution.
Right front tire's down, and obviously he's made a heavy contact with that right side. I don't know if it's Ron Hornaday. Let's see if he just drops down and takes off.
Yeah, it went down.
That could have been a result of some contact into the wall earlier.
We saw him get a little bit into the wall, and obviously enough that caused some problems for that 73. Lance Hooper now on pit road.
It's been about 20.
Trouble on the back straightaway.
Problems on the back stretch, up into the wall.
I think it's the.
That's the 39, Ryan C.
Caution flag is out.
Caution flag will fly with 7 laps of racing to go.
Oh, wow.
Hey, what are we going to do now? I'm happy.
I think we got to think about tires.
We've got to think about tires. Happen.
Yeah, he turned him right there going down the back.
Wow.
Into the wall he goes.
Looked like that 39 truck was just trying to squeeze back up in line, and James Fisher was in that hole and didn't let him have the space.
They fought over that all the way down the back till they got down to
Jay Bell in the back. Here comes Timothy Peters. Kevin Harvick to the green flag. Will he get by him as they go into turn number 1? Timothy Peters goes high. Kevin Harvick goes down low.
Timothy spun the tires at the start, Darrell. You talked about the hot tires.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. But I think he might be.
Colin Brown needs to get by him. He needs to get those 5 more points.
Yeah, this is working out good for Colin.
But Colin Brown still's not out of this deal. Johnny Sauter's racing too.
Whoa, look at that.
Wow, look at the move by Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton up the racetrack trying to get by that 6.
Boy, did you see Sauter? He never lifted.
Sauter trying to stay in. White flag in the air. 1 lap of racing to go. Kevin Harvick trying to make it 3 wins on the 2009 season. He has grabbed the Owners' Championship. Now a great battle for second.
Look out, boys. It's going to get rough here on this last lap.
Colin Brown trying to get that. Oh, look at Matt Crafton's going by on the inside.
Here comes Crafton trying to take second away.
And we know he'll drive it down in there. Here he goes.
Crafton hard through 3 and 4. Coming out of turn number 4. Kevin Harvick is going to win again in the Camping World Truck Series.